And what is going on? We have our league challenge here at Nerd Rage Gaming in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. North suburb, I think.
Northwest suburb.
Northwest suburb of Chicago that you might know a little better than Buffalo Grove, because who knows Buffalo Grove unless you tune into these streams often or come out to some of our tournaments. And I'm Mo, joined here with the lovely
Adam Whitman.
Adam.
What's
That's
going
up.
on?
So over here, you might notice from the player cams, we do have Santa Claus himself. Everyone needs a day off sometimes. And you know, what better day to come out and play a tournament than the day after Christmas, pulling an all-nighter into the Pokemon League Challenge, out here playing our Chaladon Dialga.
I wonder if Santa hits up other locals every year, and we just happen to be the lucky one this year.
Yeah, he doesn't know this, but actually his sleigh is being towed right now. I called the police. I was that guy. I called the police because I needed the better parking spot. But on the other side, what do we see?
We see our Chaladon Dialga versus Dragapult, or Iron Thorns Dragapult, my apologies, and we see Cortez starting with the Iron Thorns here. Probably the best case scenario for him, don't you think?
Yeah, I believe so. Because you just want to start that art. You want to stop that Archelodon ability. Just the fact that they're gonna power up, 2 energy, which might not be too much in your opinion. Like, an electric generator's 2. What else is 2? Like, Mirage Gate's 2 energy. But if there's anything we've known from the past, it's good enough to win a Champions League overseas. But it's also 2 energy stacks up because it's not limited to 1 ability per turn.
Right.
You can do 2 of them, and then what do you know? Within attachment, you're doing a Star Chronos, taking another turn, which is absurd.
And that ability is just so crazy broken, I feel. And it coming back into the format is very interesting because we saw it much earlier in the year around Indianapolis time with Andrew Hendrick doing well with it. And we haven't really seen it since. So it's very interesting to see it come back to do so well in Champions League, also getting a top 16 spot, I believe, too. I also do believe that top 16 did not play Dialga, so it's interesting to see 2 very different builds from a pretty linear deck for the most part.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're having 2 decks that are not the mainstream. We're not having Regidrago. We're not having maybe Gardevoir that just saw some placements with Michael Davidson, Chicago's own. Used to be in Nerd Rage Gaming, but things happened. He stepped up to a more competitive team, let's say, maybe not as much community driven.
Sure.
But, nonetheless, we're all happy for him. I would love to see Michael win a regional because that would just, it's another Chicago player. At the end of the day, I want to see Chicago winning.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what I was telling Dan a couple weeks ago. It's like I'm very thankful that our community is as competitive as it is and as skillful as the players are. It's crazy to see people that you see every other weekend go out to majors and do so well.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that, like, anyone from our area has a chance to top a regional or even, take the whole thing down. Although Chicago players do have unbelievably terrible luck on stream.
True.
Michael has had some unfortunate luck on stream. Josh Frank, another player that piloted the Gardevoir deck at the Toronto Regional Championship. Grant Shen notably has some pretty rough stream matches, some rough prizing. Hector Ibarra, like, there's a list of all these players that are really notable and have great accomplishments. And then you look at, like, all their stream matches in past history, and you're just like, oh my goodness, like, what is happening?
Yeah, the VOD reviews are kind of brutal sometimes.
Yeah,
back on it.
It's pretty rough. I would love to see a Chicago player win on stream at a regional, but they can always win here at Nerd Rage Gaming. So always come out, test the deck that you want to try, whether it's our Chaladon and your name is Santa Claus. I didn't know he was a Chicago local, actually. I thought the North Pole meant, like, the top of the globe, but actually, it's just northwest Chicago suburbs.
I think it's just across the globe in general. Every local is Santa's local, I feel.
Yeah, maybe. He probably has a soft spot for Chicago, though. Maybe
so.
He teaches in the area or something,
That would help. That and Portillo's helps out a lot, too.
Yeah, definitely. You got to pack on the love weight for through Portillo's.
But we're seeing Roth here kind of get a slower start than we'd expect from our Chaladon. Powering up the Dialga first, assuming he's going to get that first swing with it, rather than having the Duraludon in the active, which, again, starting with the Dialga kind of limits your options to kind of have that primary attacker out on the board already, or in the active already, I should say. And then we see Cortez get that 140 onto the Dialga, putting it at half, and then moving a fire energy down to the Dreclo.
Did we see 120 damage onto the Iron Thorns, though? Is that 120 on it, or is it just on the side? Because with a 3 energy, you're doing 120 damage, and he had enough to evolve it, so that I presume that he would be able to attack with it.
I don't believe so because we only see the 2 energy on the Dialga here. I think you need
Yeah,
the.
it attacks for 1.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
It's a 40 plus 40 more for each metal energy on the Pokemon. I don't know the name of it. I
Yeah.
think it's like Metal Blast or
Well,
something, right?
but that wouldn't get you to the 120 anyway, right?
Yeah, it would. 4 times 3 is 12.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Quick
right?
math.
Yeah, okay, so it was enough damage
Okay.
on it.
Okay.
I think he just took the dice off because he said, I don't think this Iron Thorns is it's not living a hit, and I'm pretty sure Santa Claus is competent enough to announce the knockout.
Definitely. And we see Ruff getting that second Dialga on the board again, just so we can get that Star Chronos ready to go. It doesn't seem like we'll be getting it on this Dialga V-Star right now, or in the next turn either.
Yeah, maybe not this one in the active
Right.
spot because it's definitely going to chunk a hit. And by chunk, I mean it's going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
By this, presumably it would just evolve the Dragapult EX, the nice full art that Cortez has. We do see some blingy cards.
And we did see Cortez elect to put the Toadschool onto the bench. Do you think it has any value in this matchup? I feel like they're not really returning many cards from discard to hand, with the exception of maybe your Night Stretcher.
Maybe I would like to think that if you're going up against a deck where Cortez, unless he's playing the ladder and hits just every single deck in format, I think it's just a safety precaution.
Sure.
It's not like you're benching a 2-prizer. You're still benching a 1-prizer when it evolves, but it's just a matter of if you play a Superior Energy Retrieval, Night Stretcher, Alana's Aid,
Lana's Aid.
you could play anything in this deck
That's
because
true.
if I'm playing against anything and I can bench the Toadstool, as long as I'm not faulting my setup and then really putting the brakes on my own setup, yeah, sure, I'll bench the
Yeah.
Pokemon that I can find off of a Buddy Poffin.
How do you see Cortez? All right, he puts all 60 on the Durst. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think I would have liked to spread some damage onto the bench Dialga also.
Yeah.
If he doesn't evolve, it puts it at 200 and puts it in prime position to get another Phantom Die for the KO.
So, we're looking at Rafal, or not Rafal. God forbid I say
Santa Claus.
his
Santa
name.
Claus,
Yeah,
come
Santa.
on now.
We're looking at Santa Claus's deck. He does play 2 copies of the Professor Turra scenario, but he also plays that Ace spec that he does have in hand.
Mhm.
The Super Scoop Up Cyclone. The Super Scoop Up is an Ultra card. Also a coin flip, but the Scoop Up Cyclone is already in Santa Claus's hand, and so he can just play that down and say like, "Cool, I'm gonna go ahead and evolve this active Archelodon, power up 2 energies, and then let me think. Oh yeah,
Let's go do it
Scoop Up
again.
Cyclone. I'm gonna do it again. Yes,
And something
just
that was
like you
also
said.
something that was also pretty crazy that not necessarily on the topic of scoop up, but with this deck Star Chronos plus Fez, you could Fez twice on in your back to back turns if you get the KO and get your bonus turn. It's pretty crazy. You get 6 cards off of your Fez in that one big swing.
Yeah, if he's able to find maybe a boss's order, once he's done using all of his abilities, of course, he can go like boss's order onto the Iron Thorns
Mhm.
EX, and then if he can follow it up with another boss's order, knowing that if you Star Cronus, your opponent can't stop your turn,
Yep.
then you can just go ahead and bring up the Dragapult EX. You can bring it back up and then knock it out with the first attack, but you just want to make sure that you have a modifier because you only do 220 with the Star Chronos. So you're not doing enough to knock out with the Star Chronos, even though the Metal Blast, you do 1,000,000 damage if you have 10 energy on it.
So we definitely going back to the Cyclone. We're definitely going to see. Oh, maybe not. I thought
Ooh.
I thought we were going to turbo to the Dialga.
What are you
scoop it
doing,
up and
Santa
do it
Claus?
again. That's very interesting. So I'm assuming we're going to get some poke damage and then go for that next turn 4-prize play. Gust up the Dragapult again.
Maybe. It does have 2 retreat, so I mean, if he goes like, use the ability,
He's really loading
He-
up. Holy moly.
yeah, he's going ham on it.
And we saw in the middle of that conversation the double Night Stretcher, going back to the topic of the Toadschool, and not getting it down really allowed Roth to get all these cards back into his hand and reset this board.
Yeah, maybe Cortez should have tried to get it out a little sooner. Now he's
Perhaps.
just looking at, okay, is my time past for getting the Toadstool in play? Sure, I'll still get it eventually, but man, if this was a best of 3, I'm putting it down turn 1, game 2.
Absolutely. And we do. I didn't get a good look at Cortez's hand, but it seemed like his options were pretty limited. So maybe he just didn't have access to the Toadschool that turn.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he doesn't even have another Dracloak in play,
Exactly.
which is the middle Dragapult, as Dan Huger would say, to make fun of me from the League Cup. But, I mean, we're looking at doing some damage over here. You know, it's
We're doing some energy
3
counting
metals,
here.
Metal Defender. During your next turn, the Pokemon has no weakness.
Yes.
That doesn't really matter.
Not in this matchup. No,
Unless
it's really
there's
good
a
against
Radiant Charizard,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. It's major against the Radzar, not getting the return KO. But aside from that, maybe Gouging Fire. But I don't know how relevant that will be in today's matches.
Uh, it could pop up. There
Yeah.
could be someone playing. I don't know, like
Perhaps, perhaps.
gouging fire, roaring moon deck. I know
Yeah.
I've seen
Not
that
unheard of
peeking a
here.
little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
It's anything's possible over here, especially you see Santa Claus round one, like anything could happen.
I'm pretty intimidated, honestly. If I see him across the table round one,
I would be
it's definitely a
shaking in my
problem.
Crocs. Yeah, definitely.
Shaking in my winter boots.
Shaking in my socks. Yeah, I mean, ooh, let's see what's happening over here.
I mean, if we don't get the Dur off the board here in the active, Rock could have a crazy play next turn. Just redropping all the Durs and getting that energy loaded up onto the Dialga.
That would just be disrespectful because
I think it's gonna happen.
then he can go for the Star Cronus on the active.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's very likely because I don't see a world where Cortez gets the damage down to KO the active here.
I also don't see a world where Cortez is able to find possibly a Professor Turos scenario. Well, he does play the one of, but like,
But
man, what are the odds you're drawing into it?
I mean, even if we do, the most recently evolved Dragapult has 0 energy on it, so we're not going for an attack this turn.
Yeah, you don't play your ace spec is the Precious Trolley, and it's not
Yeah.
the what is it, Sparkling Crystal.
Right.
So you don't have that. You can't play a Crespin this turn because if you do play the Professor's Turos, so maybe he just has to swing with it, attach an energy to the bench, and say like, hopefully something happens. But
we saw the stretchers. He's just hoping for not a gust, I guess. But even without it, leaving it in the active, it's gonna get wiped.
yeah, and he
So
might
we'll
also
see.
just
We could switch out. I hope he doesn't have a gust. I did see the switch in Cortez's hand.
and then do what 70
hope.
damage with another Dragapult seems kind of. I don't want to say irrelevant, but it just. I mean, you're chipping into something with just massive HP.
And Ruff's already in that range, that 4 prize range, where the Kronos could just clean up the game.
Exactly. It's not like 300 HP is unheard of to reach that number,
Hmm.
but for this deck, you cap out at 200, so you really care about doing that chip damage and cleaning things up with one big Phantom Dive.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe he's bringing up the Pheasantipity, trying to clean it up
Okay.
later. If he has a bench spot for the Radiant Alakazam, he could
A Zam would go crazy right now.
move some damage.
That'd be very, very nice. I didn't. Again, not getting a good look at Cortez's hand. I'm not sure if he. Oh, he does have it in his. He's gonna drop it here for sure. Okay,
Okay,
that's really nice.
moving
right.
one damage counter onto the active from the bench star Chaladon,
Mhm.
and he's just announcing that Phantom Dive.
Cortez is just still praying that we just don't see a gust here.
But is it that important? I mean,
don't know.
we know that Santa Claus has the Archaladon EX in hand. There
Yeah.
wasn't an Iono played, so he has it in hand. He can go retreat the active Archaladon into the Dialga, scoop up Cyclone,
Just redrop all the energy.
yeah, drop it for the effect, put 2 more energy, and then also go attach for turn because he's gonna grab 1 energy after he retreats. So then they'll like draw for turn.
And we have
the other one.
He's at 2. We
I
do have a
mean-
counter catcher play potentially also.
If he finds boss here, he just has game. As effectively game because
He finds
and he
double
plays boss.
Yeah.
Because you Star Corners the active, and then you play boss the next turn for the Iron Thorns, and it doesn't matter because you're taking 2 turns. What are you doing now?
Well, he has counter catcher.
Does,
Right.
Oh, yeah, but I get, no, because he's gonna go to the same amount of prizes.
Yeah.
So I think the boss has already just sealed up the game. So Santa Claus, maybe you could just work fatigued. That could be a possibility.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like this deck is very interesting because you have a lot of tools to kind of manipulate the damage on your end of the board, but it's just strange how you have to utilize your gusts and try and max out on that 4 prize play when you can. I feel like taking the boss there definitely would have put him in a pretty good position to do that.
I think that boss literally sealed up the game.
I think so too.
Because you'd be able to Star Chronos, especially if you retreat and then use that scoop up Cyclone. But I think that Santa Claus was a little caught up on that.
Okay.
Using the Turo, but you have a manual retreat, so I'm not gonna come too much slack. I don't want to get on the naughty list, but Santa Claus is coming to Star Chronos.
And even with this play and not getting the boss there, I mean, really, Cortez has no real way of getting back into this game and getting a really solid knockout here. I mean, even with the Crispin, he's not taking a knockout. There's no damage on the bench to put onto the active to get that KO with Phantom Dive. So it's just a matter of time before Roth just takes those last couple prizes.
Yeah.
like you're
Who's
saying-
Rafal?
Oh, sorry, Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, of
Santa
course.
Claus. He's playing, it's been a long night on the sleigh. It's been.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be. I'm happy that he's here. That's all that
Someone
really
get this
matters.
man some eggnog. Let him
Some
hang
cookies.
out. Yeah.
Exactly.
After all the hard work he does, I think that's no, that's a research, not a
Hmm.
full art boss's orders. Is he gonna find the Pokestop off of it? No, Santa. Oh, that's rough. Santa Claus would have had it there, but I
Yeah.
think you're still in an advantageous position because what's your opponent gonna do?
Exactly.
I mean, Santa Claus can go for the concealed cards, draw two,
Hope for
and
the
then
second boss.
hope for the second boss's order. It's also not like he's not winning. I mean, like it's not like Cortez really has an answer to hit 220 damage to reach that
Exactly.
280 number. So there's no residual damage on the bench. That Turo really did clean it up, but I would have liked to see the scoop up cycling come into effect. I guess he doesn't have it in hand though. Where was I seeing that card then? Was it in his opening hand and he researched it away?
I didn't see it in the Discord either.
Yeah, I could
we
have sworn he had it,
I think we were more just talking about it.
but I saw it. It's the
Yeah,
older version of the scoop
he
up
definitely
cycling.
has the older version. I was playing him earlier this afternoon. So it seems like we're just gonna go for those at the metal, not metal maker. What is the Dialga attack?
It's the metal blast.
Metal blast. Okay, okay.
So
I
we're
mean,
looking at metal blast. Enough damage. It doesn't
enough.
even need
More,
to.
yeah, more than enough. That's
Yeah.
for sure. This Dreepy's getting blasted by metal.
We could see the super rod for the Pheasantipity, and then a nest ball or Nestor Ultra Ball for Pheasantipity to try and draw the boss and just win the game outright.
Sure.
We could see that.
Assuming, based on your shuffling, I'm assuming we're just not gonna go back in the deck though. I guess we have the concealed cards, yeah.
There's a chance. There's a chance.
He has the Ultra Ball.
I mean, but wouldn't you? I would. I would Ultra Ball for the Fez.
so we're just
Was
gonna see
something not knocked out last turn? It was on your opponent last turn.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. This is interesting. I mean, we are gonna see 10 cards, or I mean, potentially 10 cards.
So I
Does see
mean,
another Ultra Ball. Does see another Derby. Can't play it this turn.
I guess there wouldn't have been.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess there wouldn't have been a boss's order drawn off of Pheasantipity maybe, but you thin one, you shuffle differently, anything could happen.
I believe only one left in deck. Yeah. I mean, we don't have his list pulled up anymore, but I'm assuming he only played 2.
Yeah, with the 2 counter catcher, you don't have enough space to play multiples. It's just the split of 2 boss, 2 counter catcher. With the 2 Poke Gear, I mean, it's a lot of 2 ofs in a deck that should play. And then you play 2/2 Dialga line, you play 2 Taro. What else is 2 ofs? 2 Pokestop. We're out here just leaking the list.
2/2/2, and then plenty of ball search. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely a whole lot of outs. There's the 4 Ultra, 4 Nest Ball, 4 Night Stretchers. A lot. But I guess you just need it if you're possibly going to mill an Archaludon. You just want to always have them back to back. Same with the Duraludons, really. It's kind of chunky, being 130 HP is like.
Oh yeah, I mean it's also
That's
perfect Dusknoir range too, though. Unfortunately, so if you're not able to set up super, not even quickly, just not even just set up decently, you're really vulnerable to those Dusknoir pops, and then gust another one into the active and just wipe your board clean of them. Unfortunately,
Yeah. So.
but that's where that early Dialga bench comes in handy, because then it kind of like makes your opponent debate whether or not to go for the double snipe or to get some chip damage or even KO the Dialga.
Exactly. Do you really want to take care of this Duraludon, or do you want to deal with the Dialga that's staring in your face about a hit for massive damage?
Yeah, I mean, from my testing against it, I just want to go after the Dialga every chance I get.
Yeah.
I feel like if I can get that off the board and they can't set it up, I have a pretty good chance of winning.
Yeah, it's swinging for 280 damage right now, but you do get an attachment once per turn. You don't even need the ability from the Duraludon, or the Archaludon.
Right.
So you could just attach one more. Wow, that's 320, and nothing lives that on the side of Cortez because 310 HP is less than 320 if I do my math correct.
And I'm wondering what Cortez is contemplating here, because he's been holding the Crispin. Obviously, he had to play to get the attack off. I guess the question is he really just banking on Santa not having the last medal? Odds are he has it. So.
Yeah.
Or has some way of getting to it.
There's 6 cards after the 7 drawn off the research.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one of them was played or 0 were played, so then that way it's 7 whole cards. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't doubt Santa Claus of all people. Doubting Santa is kind of crazy to me. And we see Tool, Pokemon all to the discard pile because tools are not items anymore.
Pokestop was a giveth and Pokestop taketh, man, unfortunately. We're just missing everything here.
All right, Santa, show me the medal.
That's all we need, yeah. Put say 3-3. Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
Put
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
damage
Yeah.
wherever you want.
Whatever.
Does it matter?
No.
We'll see. We'll see what Santa.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
top
you
deck metal
go.
energy. That's Santa Claus for you, going 1-0
Yeah. 1-0 Santa undefeated.
at the Nerd Rage Gaming League Challenge.
Mhm.
If we can see Santa Claus on the board getting some championship points, we might see Santa Claus at Anaheim this year, Anaheim,
Anaheim. Yeah. Yeah.
California.
Anaheim this year. San Francisco
You
next
know,
year.
it's never been a better time. It's the off season for Santa Claus. The elves are building the toys, and you're over there getting your tan on for Mrs.
And
Claus.
plenty. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa, whoa! Hey,
Whoa.
what?
Fraud alert, man.
What?
Holy moly.
What was that? I want my money back. I'm getting paid for this.
Who did we end up having on the second stream? Who was playing? For sure.
We had Colin versus Martin. It was a rematch of the last round in the League Cup, or I think 2 League Cups ago,
Mhm.
because Colin got down paired to Martin, and then Martin ended up winning that, but then unfortunately bubbling top 8. So it was a little nice rematch, but yeah, RIP Cortez. He's still alive, but just in the tournament. I don't know if he could get first, but we'll see. It's 5 rounds. I mean, we have 4
Oh,
more
5
amazing
rounds.
rounds coming
Alright.
for you. But maybe right now we might just take a little bit of a break until the next round. But we had Santa Claus on stream, totally not pulling down his beard. You know, it's the off season day out. It's the day after, right? But we'll be right back. Adam, anything to say to the folks?
No, looking forward to more good games coming up.
Unless we wanna, let's actually just get a talk with Santa Claus. Adam, did you want to interview Santa?
Sure.
Meet
Yeah,
your fans,
let's
kids,
go.
or meet your heroes. Let's go ahead and hear from Santa Claus, the winner of the last round.
Santa, how's it going, my man?
Why, hello, young man. I'm doing quite well. 1-0 at the league challenge.
Love to hear it. How'd that game go for you? Because we saw some interesting back and forth going on between you and Cortez.
Yeah, the game was okay. I can't do the voice the whole time. Sorry. The game. What? The game was really close.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's he was playing a deck that I played to. What was the last regional?
I have no idea. Toronto?
To Toronto, yeah. So I'm pretty familiar with the Thorns Dragapult. It's definitely an interesting one. I have a lot of ways to like scoop up my damage and make a lot of his turns like irrelevant. And 300 is just like a difficult number for him to get through because like you even like two hits with Thorns doesn't do it.
Right. And even with
So-
the Zam, it doesn't get those good numbers.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, it was a hard fought one. I knew that the Dialga eventually was going to pull through.
Yeah.
It has a lot of plays the deck can make where like, you think you're behind, but as long as you can like damage a 2-prizer, even just like like you, so like 220 to a Dragapult, then Dialga cleans it up, and if you get boss the next turn, you can just like win the game. Obviously, it didn't. The funny thing is that the turn going into my V-Star, he got a knockout,
You're right.
which meant I could have used Pheasantipity during my Star Chronos turn. But then I was like, well, if I get Fez out of my discard and I bench it and I like don't get boss, then he could it would be a lot, but he would need like Countercatcher. I guess it wouldn't be a lot. He would need like Countercatcher and Crispin. And that would let him move a damage counter from the Archelodon and knock out the Pheasantipity to win. So I was like, it's not worth it. I'm going to Pokestop first. Maybe I'll get like a Pokegear. And the first card was Boss. I'm like, ooh, well, if I got the Fez, I would have won. But
And Mo and I were talking about that. The turn that you geared and saw the double boss, couldn't you have boss or gotten Chronos, knocked out active, and then just gust up the Thorns for game? 'Cause you saw a double boss off, but then ended up taking up the Turo instead.
Yeah, I think Gust Up Thorns is probably right. This is a deck. This is my first time playing it in person.
Sure.
I've just like I saw it did well in Japan. I saw someone else did well with it online with like a Pokestop build, and I've just been like kind of messing around with it online. So there's definitely like lines that I'm not like seeing, and it's a little toasty in case you couldn't tell. Oh my God. It's a little toasty for Santa.
Definitely. Something I was curious about from the other end on the Thorns Pult.
Mhm.
How do you think you should best spread that damage onto the bench? I feel like if you could hit it, you definitely go for the Dialga as much as possible. But with a deck like with the Pult, you're not really hitting those numbers too well without the Zam manipulation.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like there was one turn where he did do 200 to my Dialga and then he put 6 onto a a Duraludon. But
Right.
then I was like, you know what, like I'm I'm gonna make that Duraludon be active because like sometimes like you don't want to put the stuff that's damage active. Like if it was a Dialga, I wouldn't want to put it active because then he just knocks it out, right?
Right.
But I'm like, well, if it goes from having 60 damage to having 300 HP, then even with a Zam, he actually still can't knock it out. So I'm just gonna let it soak a hit, and I play Turo and I play Soup of Cyclone,
Right.
so I have a lot of ways to like completely nullify his turn. As you saw, like
Yeah.
he had a ton of damage on that thing, and I just like picked it up right up,
Yeah,
right?
because he fizzled pretty hard towards the end of that. Just those last 3 cards in hand were just not able to reach those numbers. I think that's the biggest problem that we're seeing in that matchup is that 200 is a great number against most other matchups, but when you're having to face off against a 300 beat stick like that, you're just not getting there.
Yeah, it's interesting because it definitely depends on the matchup. Because
Yeah.
like I started Dialga and like my hand wasn't great, and I was like, oh well, this is kind of gonna suck. Because he chose second, so I thought it might have been like a Miraidon. I thought I was just gonna get like donked. But because it was Thorns Pult, I was like, actually, like, you know what? Dialga's actually like probably the best starter because if it's Archaludon and they start Thorns, then I actually can't attack for 3 turns.
Sure.
But if it's a Dialga, then as you saw, like I just attached to it twice. I started doing 120, and 120 is like a perfect number. Like it sets up Dragapult to get Star Chronos, it sets up Thorns to get 2-shot. I was fortunate that the Dialga start like didn't actually bite me in the butt. It was actually pretty good.
That's pretty solid. Do you see yourself playing this deck moving forward for the next few weeks, or are you going to was it San Antonio at the turn of the new year?
Yeah, I am going to San Antonio in a month. I don't know. I mean, I'll keep trying it. It's definitely like a deck that's kind of gotten to a lot of people's radars. I've seen its win rate started to tick up online since it did well in Japan. Obviously, it's like more tailored towards their meta. It played
Sure.
2 Jamming Tower because of like the amount of Gardevoir and TM Evos they have, and it really likes going first. But at the same time, like it's not terrible in our meta. Like Regidrago's kind of falling off in Japan, but it's the top deck here, and it's a good matchup for Archaludon because 300 is like a unhittable number for
Right.
Drago, right? If they do 280 to you and you just scoop it up, it's pretty tough for them. So I don't know. I mean, I'll keep messing around with it. It definitely has some bad matchups. You and I were playing beforehand, and we were playing Zard, and we went 1-1, and it was I needed some luck to pull off that second game. So yeah, Zard is like definitely not the matchup you want to see. But I don't know. I mean, I might play around with it a bit more. It's a league challenge. I'm just kind of getting some games in and seeing how it goes.
Definitely.
Still some time before San Antonio.
Yeah, I don't know if it was top 16 or maybe top 32 at Champions League. I did see 2 different bridge lists. Why did you elect to go with the Dialga rather than the just streamlined super bridge?
I think Dialga's just pretty cool.
I think so too.
I don't know. Like it's definitely like more moving parts. It's can be a little clunky, but like the pop off plays you can get, like you can be so far behind. The fact that you can. For those who don't know, you can Fez it Impity twice in a row because it's just if on your opponent's last turn they got a knockout. Well, if my opponent's last turn was 2 turns ago, it's still my opponent's last turn.
Exactly.
So you could draw 3, you can do like a big pop off play with like a research or a Turo to like get your everything set up, and then the turn after you can boss, you can Iono, Fez again. So like the turns you're able to get the Dialga off, and honestly, it's really not that hard. You attach, and you really just need like. You need 2 Duraludon and like a Turo. Like you really don't need that much. So it's been the deck's been running surprisingly smooth. I'm sure it has its bad matchups. It definitely does. But it's been fun to play for sure.
Yeah, all the bouncing cards really open up a lot of possibilities to just load up the Dialga or load up another bridge just to take some massive damage for sure. I mean, we were looking at your list. You're playing like 2 of every bounce card possible. And it works out pretty well, I'm sure, just to dump all that damage and reset your bridges.
Yeah. It's just really good. I mean, it's such a one-shot heavy meta in 300 on the second turn for a lot of decks other than like Raging Bolt. Is really
sure.
hard to hit. Raging Bolt definitely like isn't a good matchup. That's one where like you really hope like you can do 220 to like knock out like an Ogre Pawn or something. Like I've beaten Raging Bolts online, but it's definitely like if their deck's like chugging along and they're just doing 350 every turn, it's pretty tough. But there's like ways to beat it. Yeah, like 300 is just a tough number to hit turn 2 for a lot of decks, and if they can hit you for, they give it their best shot, and then you just scoop it right up, and then take 2 turns. If you could just put yourself so far ahead that like the amount of Archaludon you have on the board is just unmanageable.
Now, from your testing, and this is like kind of like on topic, off topic, how relevant or how, I guess, how scary is Radzard in some decks like Zard or Drago? I guess as the game ticks on, the ability kind of nullifies its weakness, but I'm sure there are times where you're not able to get that attack off, and you're worried about the Gus on a benched Arch or a benched Dialga too. No.
Yeah, I will say like for those who don't know, your attack from the Archelodon turns off your weakness, so your opponent can't trade with you using a Charizard, which is pretty cool. Obviously they can gust something, but a lot of the time, whether it's an Archelodon or something else, there's always like a two-prizer that just gets blown up. Whether it's Fez, whether it's Archelodon, like obviously you could have like an unfortunate situation where like the only thing you have on the bench is an Archelodon, and you think you're safe, and then they Radzard it, right? Like that can happen. But more often than not, like there's enough targets where if they have Radzard and a boss, there's going to be something for them to knock out. You're just hoping that they have Radzard but no boss.
Now, one kind of like finalizing question here. What do you think you would add or maybe adjust to the deck that you're currently playing now? I'm assuming you kind of copy pasted it from Champions League, and if you didn't, what changes did you make?
Yeah, I saw someone online. I think they went like 13-0 in some online tournament. It's only like 3 or 4 cards different. They're not playing the Relicanth. I have yet to like see a real reason for it. It's like if like Zard hits you for 270, you could blow up the Zard.
Sure.
I guess that's something, but
I think without Starmie, I feel like Relicanth and Starmie kind of go hand in hand now.
yeah, like the kind of the damage manipulation. Yeah, the Dialga package I think is more than enough. But you know, maybe there'll be matchups where I find Dialga to be more useful. But that 220 number is pretty efficient most of the time. It's like it's there's not a lot of matchups where you're getting hit hard enough that Relicanth is good, but not hard enough you don't just get like blown up.
Sure.
You know, like if Raging Bolt's doing like 280 to you, you're just happy with that.
Yeah,
you're just happy. You're just
exactly.
happy to survive.
It's not a
Raging
KO,
Bolt.
yeah.
Yeah, you're like whatever.
And then there
you know,
goes what 4 energy, 5 energy. You're good to
yeah,
go.
like how many times is that happening? And then you're like, oh, Relicanth time, right? It's just not happening that often. Or then if there's something like a Dragapult that they do 200, Relicanth doing 260. I mean, I guess against Thorns,
Nothing
it
super
matters.
important. Yeah, maybe into
Yeah.
Thorns. Yeah.
But
But all you
I'm-
do is bounce it back up. You're good to go.
Yeah, and then I'm trying the Pokestops, which you saw. Like they just sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. That's just the nature of Pokestop. But
One thing I didn't mention: how relevant would have the early Toad been on Cortez's end?
pretty relevant. So as soon as he benched it, I don't know if you saw, I was going like very liberally with my Night Stretchers because I was like, this thing could come out at any moment. I'm just gonna like not use Night Stretchers for like the most efficient way, but I'd rather use them to get like an Archelodon in a really like inefficient, wasteful way than a risk never being able to get it again.
Yeah, because
So
we saw like by turn 3, you had used like 3 of them, so you were good to go.
yeah, I was trying to be very proactive about it.
Understandable. All right, my man. Good luck in the next round.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you very much, young man. Oh, Mo, you've been on the naughty list. You've been playing
Uh-oh.
Snorlax.
Oh no. Welcome back, Mo. Had a good talk with Santa. Hopefully, you got to sneak onto the nice list next year.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Perhaps.
Yeah, that's not the invite I'm going for. I'm going for a Worlds invite.
There
Not
you
really.
go. There you go.
I went for it. It's cool, but
So
you
here
know,
we see
we'll
Ryan
some other
and
people go
Josh.
for it.
I did get a peek at Josh's list as him and Matt were playing earlier.
It's wild.
It's very wild. I had to read the card a couple times. I didn't see what his supporting cast was, but Cyclizar by itself was very interesting, drawing a lot of cards potentially. It's something.
Well, he showed me on his Pokemon Live
Hmm
on his phone. You know, he has one of those phones that
This is
flips open, right?
Fantastic.
And it's cool.
He's beautiful handwriting, man. Holy moly.
Who is it? Sky?
Oh, it's the
Sky?
Skies. I thought this was Josh's list. I was like, holy moly.
No, I think Josh writes probably the same as me. Yeah.
There we go. Oh, okay.
Josh writes like a toddler, just like me. It's okay.
We see Josh open up with the fan vote. I'm getting the fan call right away. Great value for sure. Again, not knowing his supporting cast of colorless Pokemon, he's eyeing up the double
He
boof.
plays the Boofer, bro. He plays
Big on
4.
that. Four
Boof.
Boofalon. Don't got enough. Gotta have 4 of them.
He said my opponent might want to take out my Boofalins.
Holy
I'll
moly.
let him while I draw 5 cards with Cyclizar because he does in fact play the energies to attack with Cyclizar.
Very
His second attack.
interesting. We got the Luminous. That's fantastic. So we got the basic Pokemon are pretty thin. We got 1 Latias, 4 Cyclizar, 1 Rotom, and 4 Boofalons. So we're really just streamlining the lizard here. I'm really curious to see how he navigates this matchup. I feel like on paper the damage mitigation from Boof may be really, really relevant here against Miraidon.
The Boofers are good, dude.
We know what is Cyclizar.
I don't even know how to spell Cyclizar.
I was just looking. I was looking.
Oh,
at
I'm
the
looking it
HP.
up.
What-
The HP is 210 damage.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That brings it to 270, which nothing's hitting unless it's a Raichu.
I mean, that's very interesting. Holy moly! So if we in some way set up triple boof here, it's almost impossible for Ryan to get that KO with a one shot, with the exception of Raichu,
Oh,
of
you think
course.
that's cool? Iron Hands doesn't take out a well, it does because lightning weakness. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Okay. Okay.
Never mind. Never mind. I'll sit down. But nonetheless, yeah, like what? He's 270 HP basic that hits for 180, which is not that great, but it draws 5 cards.
And honestly, the numbers are a big problem for Miraidon. We've seen historically decks that can get out of that 220 range and can survive an extra turn or two. Really have a pretty good chance against the Don. We see Ryan getting a pretty traditional setup here, looking off all of his basics here. And now I haven't played against too much Don recently. I'm assuming the setup is just going double Don, double tandem. Yeah, still
I believe so.
I would imagine.
Because you still want to chip into things. If you can hit a Cyclizar and then maybe Iron Hands it, that's pretty good.
Sure.
But also, if you could just Iron Hands the active Fan Rotom and maybe like chip your way through some other things, like try for that. But it's not like we're even seeing like a canceling Cologne. That could be pretty cool because that wouldn't even do anything.
No, I wouldn't do a whole lot into this. No.
It wouldn't because there's a Bouffalant on the bench that has an ability. It's not even like
Exactly.
the active one. But if it was the case where like you had the Bouffalant that lost zoned an energy for like 3 energy, you had one of those and then the Bouffalant that reduced the
Sure.
damage, then sure you can do that. But like you're in a sticky situation because there's 4 Bouffalants in this deck, and I don't think Josh is gonna run out of them.
I was wondering what Josh's plan was for energy acceleration here. And
Santa Claus left his drink back here.
my first instinct was having the Crispin, and then looking at his list, we do see the 4 Crispin here.
You have to play the Crispin.
100%, which that honestly opens up that window for that other boof that you were talking about. Because if you're just throwing on random energy, it works out pretty well.
Yeah, even though he doesn't play it.
No, I
it's
don't think
just
he
like,
is.
if you did for whatever reason
Mhm.
play it, you can really catch your opponent off guard. It's really good into Dragapult. So I don't know if Cyclizar struggles against Dragapult.
It might. But now that I think about it, and looking at Ryan's board currently, we could see a super wide board and a KO through the booth with the Raikou, which would be pretty sick.
That would be interesting.
I don't know if Josh will enable Ryan to hit those numbers by loading up his bench. You would have thought he would have probably loaded up another basic or two, but again, looking at his list, he only has a Cyclizar. So maybe
We'll see what Ryan does.
maybe 3 or 4 all we'll see from Josh as far as the bench goes.
Ryan did tell me I don't know how to play my deck.
Fair enough.
So I
That-
think Ryan is competent enough with the Palkia deck
Mhm.
to where he understands. Oh, we
Yeah.
are not
no.
generating. Womp womp. So, I mean, Ryan is pretty in tune with the Palkia deck, the
Yeah.
Palkia Terapagos deck. That still plays the Underground Area, Zero Underground Expedition, whatever
Yeah,
it's
something
called.
like that.
He plays that card. But so he's used to playing that card in addition to also just going for a wide bench and doing some damage. Now, Raikou V does do less damage than Palkia V Star.
Right.
It does 40 less damage. So with the Area Zero Underdepths, you're maxing out at quick math, 200 on your side, right? No, 180 on your side, and then 20 more for each thing your opponent has. If you have 8 bench Pokemon with the
And
stadium in play,
That was quite the restart by Ryan there.
what do you
We
restart into? I
dump
looked away.
we dump his hand, and he sees 3 energy off of the
Oh.
restart.
That was sarcasm. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
still have access to the squawk and the stone here, which is still great.
And
I would
Mike
imagine with
McBob,
just squawk, you gotta be right.
you are right, Mike McBob.
Yeah, there's your
You
generator.
definitely squawk that hand away.
100%. It's
you
like
have-
unplayable otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. You have a Super Rod, and I believe you have a Night Stretcher. Yeah, you have a Night Stretcher. I'm looking at the wrong list. There's a Super Rod in the Cyclizar deck. Who would have thought? There is a
Gotta
Super
have that,
Rod.
right?
Yeah, there is a Super Rod in this Miraidon deck. But the Cyclizar deck, for anyone running, it does play a Super Rod. And the ace spec of choice is a Hero's Cape. I'm going to lose it.
This is gonna be pretty spicy. So we see that lizard gained to what, like, was that 360, 370 now?
Yeah.
If you cape it, that is.
370 with
That's a
the
fatty.
Buffalin ability.
And at that point, unkillable by everything. So that's pretty scary.
If I'm Ryan, I'm like, where's my lost vacuum, dude? They'll leave it at home.
So we see Ryan draw 4 more energies. 4 more energy off of the research. Or off of the squawk, I mean, sorry.
Okay, so you have to super out your Magneton back in deck. That's
Mhm.
one of the spots, but then 2 energy. So like you don't want to get rid of too many energy.
And what's the energy count here? We got 15. So I mean, we have plenty to spare.
15 and a DTE.
Yeah.
Is he going for? I mean, what are you doing right here?
He's boxing.
Okay.
Just a thin, I'm assuming.
Where's the Arvin? Where's the supporter, dude? Find your
Oh,
supporter.
definitely that supporter for sure.
Where's the supporter next turn? If I'm Ryan, I have a 2-card hand before this. I need a
there's the Arvin,
supporter.
then. Boss or Arvin.
The boss.
Boss on the booth isn't bad.
The boss. Are
Boss
we
on
gonna
the
see
booth,
it?
retreating to Raikou, swing, knock it out. Not terrible. It brings you back into that range for the lizard. And I do
Yeah.
believe Josh had another one in hand though, so maybe he's
He
drops
did
it again.
because
Yeah.
he fan called for 3.
Yeah, he just drops
It's
it
the
again.
only Pokemon he can fan call for.
And
He
that
plays 1 fan rotom and he started it, and 4 Bouffalant, 4 Cyclozar, and a Latias EX.
I can't imagine we see Latias get dropped here. So
We could.
we could, but then that leaves that an easy access 2 prizer on Josh's end for
But if
Ryan.
you go.
Because it won't get touched by the booth. It will still be at
Yeah.
210, unfortunately.
I mean. Yeah, because if your actor's getting knocked out, like, you have a free retreat, I guess, but we're seeing something on this side of the Cyclozar deck that's interesting.
Well, since we got the one energy off of the generator, we are going to see a Raikou KO. Now, will it be on the booth or will it be on the road? I would like to see it on the booth, just to keep on thinning it out.
Boss up the Boofer.
I'm assuming.
Let's see. And 1 card drawn. He didn't even V-star.
Oh, no, he ended up getting
Arvin.
Arvin, not Boss. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's in their mind.
But it could be like a bundle, but then like
Bundle will
Josh
be cool.
can send up the Cyclozar. Oh, this is just silly.
It is very. What do we got here now?
What
No,
is
here we
Josh
go.
cooking? Josh is cooking something. This is something over here.
Holy moly.
I mean, these things are not getting knocked out. This is
No.
ultra reliable. This is like a 1998 Chevy, right? Like, or maybe Chevy's not good.
Sure,
It's like a
sure.
1998 Toyota Camry or like a Honda Civic. I mean,
It just won't die.
this thing will not go. It's got miles on
It's
it.
got way too many miles on it, but it's still moving along.
I don't know the Pokemon lore, but a Cyclozar a wheel Pokemon? Is it like a? It's like a motorcycle, right?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
I don't know the lore as that deep either, but I would imagine it's like a precursor to Miraidon and Koraidon.
Yeah, no,
It's so
Koraidon's the
similar.
ancient one. Miraidon's the future
And this
future
is
bike.
this is the present.
But this is like the current bike. This is like the Harley Davidson, right?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Not as cool looking.
TLDR, this thing is not going down. This thing
That's
is
for sure.
swinging
It's
and it's
built
throwing you
tough.
5 cards. You know, you're taking it around.
Drawing you 5 cards with that second attack. That is. So I believe you need was it lightning, psychic, fire.
Put some respect on Zircon Road, dude.
Holy moly!
Zircon Road, with the first attack being breakthrough, 130 to the active, 30 to the bench. But who cares about that?
I need the other one.
That's 160
spicy
damage
one.
total. I'm trying to do 180, draw 5 cards. Well, you may draw 5.
Oh yeah,
because
definitely a
Josh-
optional effect, and it's not up to 5. It's just straight draw 5.
Yeah, because well, it said you may.
Sure.
Because
you
Josh
may, you
told me,
may.
he said when I go really low on my deck and people think they're gonna deck me out, he says,
Exactly. You gotta read the
you
fine print.
may.
Hey,
Which-
there aren't that many you may effects in Pokemon, so it's really interesting for it to actually come up
Yeah.
sometimes where you're like, all right, my deck is crazy low. Drawing 5 is pretty sick sounding, but drawing 5 to deck out ain't it. It's the baby form. There you go. Thank you.
Technical Machine Devolution.
Uh-oh. I mean, this is like as toolboxy as it gets here. I mean, it's like
I'm bringing this to San Antonio.
this is Terrapagos's like long lost cousin or something.
Yeah, this is
Dude, where are the trumpets at?
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool
that'd
to
be
see.
sauce.
That'd be pretty cool to see. I feel
I'm
like
trying to see it.
now that we see this on the board, there are a lot of things you could do to experiment with this.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
This is just,
But this is like the downside to it
You
here. We're just not seeing energy, right? We're just like,
you have space. You just cut the 2 grabbers in the deck.
there you go. Like, hey man, Grabber is something.
Ooh.
But I feel like maybe we played 3 vessels, so I wish we could have seen some way to dig deeper into that because not getting the attach that turn is brutal.
Yeah.
I feel like you won't be able to attack for 2 more turns. I guess you can crisp it now that I think about it. So
This
the
is
crisping works
great.
out pretty well for that.
I mean, Josh is just cooking, right? He's
He
making
is.
things happen. And in addition to making things happen, Josh is also expecting a baby on the way.
True.
So shout out to Josh.
Shout out to
I'm so
Josh.
happy for him.
Congratulations, my man.
I definitely keep in touch with his personal life via Facebook. But yeah, Josh is, bringing new life into this world. Same with our very own Dan Hughes.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. Many
Shout out
of
to
many
Dan.
of our
That's why he's
local
not
members.
here. He's dealing with baby stuff before the baby comes out.
Yeah, very soon.
And so yeah, we're looking forward to that. Energy baby
That's
is going
so
to be a new
exciting.
hashtag. We're also going to have Energy Cyclozar. Um, Cyclozar is going to be the new mascot, whether anyone likes it or not. But I'm here right now casting with you, and I think we get a majority vote, right?
I'm with you. 2-0. It's definitely unanimous. Bryce, no?
We have
Oh
Bryce back here shaking
no.
his head, but 2 versus 1.
Yeah, we'll take it. I mean,
I don't know.
we
Let's
do
get a
see Ryan.
Cyclozar plushie by the next tournament.
That'd be pretty cool. I'm
We'll
sure. I'm
see.
sure they exist. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure we could find one.
Or someone will make one.
That'd be pretty cool.
Let's get the fans out
The
there.
fan art.
Oh, I
We
love
are
this
seeing
deck.
the stone now. The question is, what are we getting off the stone? We did see the rod back for the double energy magneton, like you were saying before. But I can't imagine we're going back for the magneton here. So, what are we looking? Oh, we
Oh,
are.
the Magneton.
Interesting.
And it's that
It is.
promo.
It's
from the
really cool
EPP.
looking. It's pretty awesome looking.
It's the pretty cool one.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
The cool one for a cool guy, right?
No,
Or is it
pretty
chill guy?
chill guy. Pretty chill
Oh,
guy.
okay. I'll stop now.
So we are going to see him
It's
use
okay.
it,
Oh, he did. What?
attaching to
Lawson? Do you Lawson it?
Dude, no, you
No,
don't.
you
No,
don't.
no, no.
Sure.
I don't
I
think
think
so.
he's just showing that he's doing the effect, so he's putting it over there, but
Sure.
he's gonna move it to the discard pile, right?
Dude, imagine that if it was in the lost one for lost box decks. Holy moly, man,
yeah,
that'd be
the one of
crazy.
lightning for my Pikachu
That'd
deck.
be so sick.
Hey,
Get the
Ryan,
Pika down, and we're just dropping everything on the board now with the
Ryan,
tandem.
put it in the discard pile, Ryan. Your Magneton goes to the discard pile. Does it?
It does.
It does.
It,
Okay.
it just knocked itself out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Melodios.
Pops itself. Ooh, nice full art.
And do we see Ryan have the DTE in? Not that the hands would be super relevant into the Cyclozar, but we could see it clean up the next turn potentially. Kind of like what you were alluding to
We
earlier in
could
the
see
match.
anything.
Oh man, that's true. We have this match is definitely something. I would love to see
Anything
a Crispin just to
happen.
get the ball rolling here for Josh.
Yeah, I want to see Josh.
I feel like not
really
getting
lay
a-
down the law.
Yeah, not getting a Crispin here is going to be real tough.
Yeah.
Because then not only will it take out his attacker for this turn, then he has to reset up another Cyclozar for the next turn, which is, as we've seen, like really difficult to do.
Tell me Josh plays Pokegear. He plays Pokegear. Only Pokegear. He didn't even put Pokegear 3.0. Let's get a judge involved. No, I'm just kidding.
Hmm.
It's a
How many
Even
gear is he
though
playing? Is it
he
4?
plays 4.
That's good. Okay.
If you're playing less than 4 gear before you add a TM Devo or add, I mean TM Devo is a pretty good card. But before you
100%.
add a grabber in your deck, let alone 2 grabbers,
Dude, Grabber is something.
no, Josh knows what's up. The 4
Hey.
Crespin, 4 Cyclozar, 4 Bouffalant, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 of everything.
What's that last card? Oh, super. Okay.
3 Judge we're seeing, 2 Penny.
I can
What
see
is
Penny, I can see Penny being pretty good in this deck actually. Now
I
that-
mean,
now
your
that-
things don't go down.
Exactly, and then it brings back everything attached to it. No, so you're getting the tools back, you're getting the energy back, so you're not just dumping it.
Oh, Ryan. Okay, Ryan. I see how it is. Trying to go for the one shot with the Raichu. He's not here for a good time. Okay, Ryan.
But yeah, like we were saying before, Josh limiting his bench really, limits Ryan's ability to get these one shots, and I don't think he will be able to get it with the Raikou at least. Doesn't seem like it anytime soon. I would imagine Josh is just trying to chain these attackers back to back, and oh man, I don't see a unless I'm missing it. Is that gear? Okay, thankfully we had a gear. I didn't see a Crispin, and we're just really digging for it. We need it desperately. And I definitely see it in there for sure. So we do see a Crispin here. He's looking over his options. Now, his energy count is kind of light. So I'm wondering how many are currently in the discard and how many he has access to. Because we don't see any in his hand either, except for the Luminous. And a Crispin here sets up the attacker, but he's not getting a KO without a boss.
Ooh, our very own judge, Michael
Yeah, shout out to Michael.
Storms. Got my
Moving the
message.
card. There you go.
Got my message. It goes to the discard pile. Gotta keep track of the game state. But to be honest, if I'm playing versus Cyclozar, I
some
would probably put my
questions.
things in the lost zone. I'd probably put it as the stadium in play.
It's the surprise factor from Josh going crazy.
Yeah.
He's definitely familiar to the surprise factor. That's for sure.
I honestly would go as far as to say, like, does my opponent play like a Radiant Charizard? Like,
Possibly.
I don't know what my opponent
Yeah,
plays in their
yeah,
deck. They
yeah.
play Fire Energy in a Cyclozar deck.
Honestly, now that you're saying that, not the worst thing to consider either. I mean, I feel like the other Radiant cards don't really have a lot of value in this deck. Not knowing too much about it in general, though, but the Red Star seems to be going pretty crazy.
Radzard would go kind of crazy.
Oh, we're getting the
You're
fan
playing the
rotom.
Luminous Energy, Psychic Energy, Fire Energy, Grass Energy. So, like, you can play any Radiant you really want.
Wait, no, hold on. What's going on here?
Yo.
We got the whoa.
That's not a Jet Energy. Okay.
Oh no, I forgot. Oh yeah, he's the one retreat. But
The other cycles are the hollow foil
Yes.
rare that also comes non-foil.
Yep.
That one has free retreat.
It does.
If this one had a free retreat, I mean, I'm putting that card in everything. I'm playing it in Reggie's.
I'm really curious. What is Josh's thinking here with the Rotom? I would imagine just to get that poke damage on the Raikou and clean up with the cycles our next turn.
Maybe.
But that's
probably
that's
just to
just
take
super
it out of
interesting.
range. But he did have the Crespin. Maybe he's just trying to load up a different one. But then
That's interesting.
if Ryan really has it like that, Ryan's just going double turbo onto the Iron Hands retreat because of the Latias's ability. And I think it's Skyliner, I believe.
Something like that, yeah.
I think it is. Let's call it Skyliner.
Sure.
Because of the Skyliner ability, he's going to go ahead and retreat that one retreat Raikou for free, move it into the Iron Hands, and take a knockout with Amp You very much.
For 3. Or for 2 on
For
for 2
two.
on the Rotom, 3 on the
Or
cycles.
if he has a boss.
That'd be pretty awesome.
We could no, it wouldn't even be knockout, right?
It's at 180.
It's not even knockout. 180 damage, but it has an effective 240, and then with
No, I think it would be
an effective 260, and with an effective 270 plus 320 with the bravery
oh,
charm.
yeah, it's just short. It needs 20 more.
I mean,
And we're not seeing the
he needs
DT
to use
here
basic
either.
energies. Yeah.
So we're just gonna see the manual attachment set up for a future attack here.
We're seeing some cool stuff happen.
This is definitely interesting. Skyliner, thank you, Lyric.
Skyliner, did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm the goat. Thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was considering maybe like Tailwind. That's also a pretty popular like Pokemon ability that boosts
Tailwind
it.
is for birds.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, close
That's
enough.
not a bird.
It's a look-alike.
Dragon.
We're also gonna see the KO here from get the
Come on,
two prizer.
Ryan. Take the knockout. Yeah. Okay, so we're seeing the knockout there. This is presumably going to get knocked out. The EXP share brings 1 energy, and then you go like attachment for turn onto the Raichu. Nothing's happening with your bench because your Pikachu cannot get knocked out. So I think he's chilling.
We could see like
You have the Crespin in hand, right?
no, he used it last turn. No, so I think all he has is boss now.
True.
I think he geared for the boss because he already had the Crispin in hand, I believe. So now,
I'd probably hold the gear then in that situation.
yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't know. This is a very
mean-
niche. It's just gonna swing for the 70. Okay, I feel like that's maybe what we should have done.
140. The 140 doesn't matter
Wait,
because
Why is it
even with
140?
breakthrough, you're not doing enough damage to knock it out. But also 130 doesn't matter because you're knocking out Greninja. The prize traded. Oh, with the prize trade, that's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, if it was add enough damage to where the 30 damage from the breakthrough knocked out the Raikou, then you can go like breakthrough, knock out Greninja for 130, knock out the Raikou, take 3 prizes. You already took 1 prize because the Magneton. You just need 2 more prize cards. But that's not the
pretty
case.
That's pretty awesome though.
I'm thinking too much, dude.
I'm still
cooking.
trying to think about like what is Josh gonna do these next couple turns? Because if that lizard leaves the board, it's over. I feel like it's gonna be a real difficult time resetting up a third attacker here because we've already seen at least 2 Crispin.
I think that Lizard's going down eventually because this Raichu on the bench is just cooking. And this Raichu cannot get knocked out.
I mean, there is a world where we see like a
This Raichu cannot get knocked out.
we see a
With a
world.
triple check.
I didn't get a good look at Josh's hand here, but there's a world where we see a gust up onto the booth, put Ryan at 2, and then just try and swing into the lizard for the last KO. Seeing as how it doesn't have a charm or any sort of tool just yet, and with the booth being eliminated, but we're just gonna see a retreat into hands, put him at 1. That's fantastic too.
Yeah, Raichu is right there. It's just staring Josh in the
Yeah.
eyes, saying, "What's the Cyclizar got on me?" But to be fair, never mind, because you're not knocking out this Iron Hands in 1 hit.
No.
This Radiant Charizard. That's why we need it,
That'd be
dude.
pretty cool.
Radiant
And
Charizard
With a
would
lack
mean
of
that.
radiance, that'd be pretty sick.
Well, your opponent's at 1 prize, but still,
Oh, yeah.
hypothetically, right? You press spin to the Charizard when your opponent's at 3 prizes taken, and Radiant Charizard would get in there.
I see the vision. That's pretty solid.
Oh, and we see that Josh gives his opponent the win.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have anything but a TM Devo, Boss, Bouffalant, and
Grabber.
a Cyclizar. The Hero's Cape actually would have come up.
That'd have been pretty awesome. Cape could have gone. Cape could have put in a lot of work. I mean, even the charm we saw had a lot of value in it.
Cape would have brought up 370 HP. Ryan had 8 energy in play. No, never mind. It
What
wouldn't
is
have
that
mattered.
stadium that Josh is playing?
Josh is
Lively Stadium. Is that the
playing-
one where you put on top of your deck from your hand?
No, that's Oh my
I'm
god.
gonna look it up.
Oh my god. Lively Stadium. I guarantee it's like your basics take like 30 less damage or
I would
something.
imagine it's something like that.
It
Both
has
the
to be.
Joshes are always bringing new stadiums that I gotta read like 4
I think
times.
it's your basics. Your basics take 30 less damage. I want to say.
That would make sense. I mean, it would fit really well in here.
I want to say it's that one.
It's kind
At
of.
50 plus HP.
It's plus 30. Plus 30.
Oh,
Yeah. So
plus
you were
30.
close. It wasn't instead
But
of
basics got 30 more HP.
yeah, it's the same
right?
thing. Yeah.
Take 30 less damage.
Exactly.
30 more HP. Same thing, right? Yeah.
Close enough. Yeah.
50
opposite
would be
Gravity Mountain.
absurd. I would play that in my deck.
Plus 50 is insane. Actually.
Gravity
Holy
Mountain
moly.
is 30 less for stage 2s. We should do some
Yes, for
Pokemon
stage
trivia.
2s.
Can you run some Pokemon trivia?
Me and my
Have
friends do
chat
this.
ask us some things.
Yeah, my friends and I do this in Discord once in a while, but our knowledge is more for the the video game rather than the card game. Our history for the card game doesn't go that far back. At least mine doesn't.
I know about maybe 100 Pokemon names.
Oh, okay.
Out of like 1,000,
all right, I got you on that. I could definitely pull the weight on that one.
maybe. I'm literally just so trash at like remembering anything, but then I remember like really intricate things.
Sure. My issue is after it was a Gen 5, whatever Black and White 2 is. After that, my knowledge falls off a cliff.
You want to do a guess that flavor text?
Sure.
Let's run a guess that flavor text. Because
I gotta make sure I block my my line of sight here for your card, man.
it's okay. You're not guessing this one right
Oh,
here.
man.
Let's
You
just
know, Kevin and I in a different call have also tried this, and some of these flavor texts are really misleading. Man. It's really difficult.
You need to also remember that I read it at a 4th grade level, so
That's fair. I got you.
its body is solid muscle. When swimming through cold seas, blank uses its impressive arms to smash through drift ice and plow forward.
My first guess, because I was thinking something along the lines of like a fighting type, but if it's swimming in the water, something that has like arms and it's breaking ice would be like, was it? I'm not sure which region it's from. The Darmanitan, the Ice and Fire Darmanitan, yeah.
It could be. Do you want to guess a Darmanitan?
What's the Oh my goodness. Asking for the type is like stupid. 'Cause it's probably just like water or ice, right? So I'm gonna say guess the. I don't know if it's Galarian or Hisuian, whichever. It's not Hisuian. The Galarian Darmanitan, the Fire and Ice one.
It is not. Would you like the set?
Sure.
So we're looking at Lost Origin. This has come
Okay,
out
okay.
within the Sword and Shield block, so it's a relatively recent Pokemon.
Gotta be Pikachu.
It's totally Pikachu. It's actually a Pichu.
Pichu.
Yeah, with the light ball.
Super swole, just swimming.
Smashes through ice.
Smashing through the ice. Is it like oh my goodness. It might be like it doesn't have arms though, like Avalugg. It's like a turtle kind of thing, right? So
It smashes through ice. It's not ice. That would be like that. I mean, that would.
not with its arms though. It's kind of like a boat.
I know,
kinda
but if
thing.
it smashes through ice, it's like its own kind.
Oh, it's
You're not
just-
smashing through
that's
your own
pretty
kind.
morbid. That's
Yeah.
pretty morbid.
What is it? A mosh pit? An Avalon mosh pit?
Avalugg
No.
throwing some elbows, man, going crazy in
No.
the pit. All right.
Would you like the stage?
I was about to ask, what stage is this? I'm assuming
OG
it's
round
stage 1.
Pikachu.
OG round with red or yellow cheeks. That's the question.
I'll have you know this is a stage 2 Pokemon.
Holy moly!
And I'll just go ahead and give you the attack because maybe people at home are also wondering.
Sure.
The attack is Split Spiral Punch.
Split.
I'll read that one more time. So it is a stage 2 from the Lost Origin expansion from Sword and Shield with Split Spiral Punch as its attack. And for the flavor text one more time, its body is solid muscle. When swimming through cold seas, blank uses its impressive arms to smash through drift ice and plow forward.
I feel like the second you say, even give me like, I feel like I know this, but I don't. I'm totally lacking on this. I'm getting really lost with the arms and the swimming. I'm trying to think of something that's like super swole, digging around. Honestly, I have no clue.
It's actually me.
It's you. It makes
It's
sense.
me.
You're flexing on me already. I can see it. Who is this guy? What's going on here?
This is the Poliwrath fighting type with its all other attack, Splash Loop.
That's a pretty cute art, man. I like that one. I don't think I've seen that card.
It is
That's true.
indeed splashing. Would you like another one? Or
You know
would you
what?
want to give me a
I'm gonna
chance?
give you one. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. Let me find one.
Let's see if it's one of the 100 Pokemon that I know.
Search a card. All right.
You can also just hit the answer, and then it'll give you the answer, and you can hit the X, and then go back. And
Okay. I got back to the search here. Oh wait, actually, no, I don't. Search.
So, ooh,
Am I back here? Am
What'd
I in
you
the
do?
wrong spot? I got.
just a random card, and then so there it is.
Okay. Its dorsal, pectoral, and tail fins wave elegantly in water. That is why it is known as the water dancer.
I want to say like Milotic, but I'm guessing Water Dancer. There's like Milotic. There's like a mermaid Pokemon. That's Milotic, right? Probably.
There are a couple different
Okay.
mermaid Pokemon, or mermaid-esque Pokemon, I would say.
Hmm. Can you read that one more time
Yeah.
for me?
Its dorsal, pectoral, and tail fins wave elegantly in water. That is why it is known as the water dancer.
Okay.
I actually have a pretty good guess. I don't know what card it actually is, but I think I know what it is.
I'm thinking like Milotic,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like Huntail. Huntail
Okay.
is like a fish, right?
Yeah. And it's
Um,
mermaid-esque that you were talking about.
ooh, it could also be ooh, you're guessing Primarina lyric. That's a pretty good guess.
It's a good one too.
Or okay, can I get a set on that?
Yeah, the set is
Surging Sparks, please. It's the EX
from
Pokemon from Surging Sparks.
XY Breakthrough.
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 What is breakthrough?
So this actually still does fit into my
So it's not
guess here.
Primarina. Because Primarina is Sun and Moon because that's when
Exactly.
Decidueye came out. Can I get a stage on that?
It is a basic.
Uh,
So
base?
that's what helped me kind of
What's
like
a basic
confirm my guess.
swole Pokemon?
Not swole.
It's dorsal abdominals or
Dorsal,
dorsal, pectorals?
pectoral, and tail fins. So actually, the more I think about it, I don't know if my guess was actually right.
Ooh, maybe like Sharpedo. No, Sharpedo's not a dancer.
Eh,
What's a dancer Pokemon?
It's also a basic,
what's a Pokemon?
so it can't be Sharpedo. It
Oh,
can't
yeah,
be.
yeah,
It can't be
Sharpedo
Huntail
evolves
or
from,
Corbus was the other one that I was thinking of.
Carvana, Gorbis. Man, is like Kyogre like a dancer?
You could, I guess.
Maybe, right?
I'll give you the attack for the last minute here. It is Reckless Charge.
Reckless Charge. Ooh. Yeah, dancing fish. Goldeen.
It's not a bad guess.
Oh, let's
It is
go.
Goldeen. That's crazy, actually.
Yo.
I was thinking it was Jellicent, right? The big.
I don't know
bubble,
that
the big
Pokemon,
balloon.
dude.
Okay. What I'm thinking, because Jellicent's like a water ghost, has a lot of like frills and stuff. It could be dancing around, kind of.
I know like 4 Pokemon.
That's fair. What do we got on table one here?
Table 1, we're looking at Matt Galat versus Christian Moshi Jr. Both
Alright.
at 2-0.
Now, Matt has been playing a couple different decks. If the name is the match in the face that I'm thinking of, he did play Bolt for a very long time. But I do believe we are going to be seeing a Drago Mirror match here.
Ooh,
I believe
Drago
so.
seems interesting.
Yes, we haven't. I was gonna mention it earlier in the stream here, but even though Drago is like obviously incredibly powerful right now, it's not super popular here. Over the
Yeah.
past like 2 months or so, we haven't seen a really big, showing from Drago
I'm gonna go ahead and let the players actually know that they're gonna be on stream.
for sure.
So I'll go ahead and pull them up.
Yeah, 'cause as I was saying, Drago, even though obviously like, we've seen it over the past 2 months being incredibly dominating, I agree, Mole, but not seeing Drago for a long time and these players kind of prepping for San Antonio, I'm looking forward to seeing some more Drago representation because I feel like not seeing it doesn't give us a good sense on where some of these decks stand against it. I feel like seeing it played well really helps sharpen our skills in preparing for it at the other majors. Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, Lyric, I'm not gonna lie, I don't wanna when I head over to Texas, I don't want to see any Drago. I know I'm gonna see a bunch of it, so I'm prepping for that too. But that also helps me kind of be a passive observer on these matches and kind of pick apart the decks and see what how my line of thinking kind of goes against it, I guess. And I'm curious to see if we were just kind of copy pasting that deck popularized by Brent Tonneson, just the 60 that he's been running with the other Australian players.
We have Matt Jr.
Lately, I've seen it's been very interesting how the meta has changed within our locals. Also, I feel like every week there's some different things showing up. Like we just saw the Arch deck or the whatever we just saw last time, the Cyclizar. It's pretty crazy. And I agree, Mo. I feel like matchups, not just the Drago matchup or the Drago Mirror, but any matchup that has like a super resource management heavy playstyle, it really allows for the players to really express their capabilities with the decks that they're running. It's very interesting, especially in a deck as potentially a mirror as potentially as complicated as Ready Drago. It's very
It's
interesting.
not the mirror.
It's not.
It's not the
Well,
mirror.
what was I know Junior's playing it. What was? No, is he not?
What am I? not to say one of my least favorite decks in the format, but a deck that I'm not too fond of.
Oh, I know what it is. then,
Ancient Fox.
Interesting. Old Zarmir was very fun. I had to have a lot of reps on that. It was super awesome to play.
Yeah,
Ancient Bucks into Drago. I mean, we've talked about it on the stream a couple of times over the past couple of weeks, how people have, or people did view it as like a counter to Regidrago, but as we've seen,
good that handwriting.
that's awesome. Holy
It's
moly!
very good
I
handwriting.
need to steal Matt's
Shout
handwriting.
out
This is
to
beautiful.
Matt. I'm trying to like take his quirk.
Steal this quarter.
Steal his handwriting. Yeah, Matt has beautiful handwriting.
It's awesome.
Really great penmanship on the side of Nerdage Gaming local players.
As we were saying, like we heard that Ancient Box is like a potential counter to Drago being able to hit those numbers while remaining a one prize board or while maintaining a one prize board state. But we just really haven't seen Ancient Box really be as good as people saying it could be.
I think it's just, those people that are really devoted to playing Ancient Box. Those are the ones that are doing well with it, but everyone else, some people write it off. Yours truly really writes it off because I just think there's cooler decks out there, personally.
I agree. It's not very. It's people call a lot of different decks linear, but like you really only have one game plan here with Ancient Box. Assuming, and actually, if we could pull up his list, maybe I'm assuming he's playing the Moon EXs, but
That's always a
not.
possibility of either the Muni X's or playing. I mean, the Petron's kind of just staple in the deck now, right?
So he is playing the Petron, but he's not playing the Moon EX, which I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, there was a debate that Brian and I had last week about whether or not you could play the potential of playing both Petch and Fez, and I feel like there's not enough room to play that many two prizes that you're not attacking with. It just doesn't make sense. I feel, and I do think that playing the Petron is definitely a better option than the Fez by itself.
Yeah, Petron auto wins you versus like stall decks.
Exactly.
The Fez is a liability, and it doesn't always find you the cards you need because your deck is kind of made like to be a well-oiled machine without it. So
And
you don't
Mole, I agree.
need it.
I agree. You're playing like I don't know if it's actually 30, but you're playing a solid 15 plus borderline unplayable cards. Which I'm surprised to see. I was looking at Matt's list now. He's not playing the Blender. I know that it's been like a coin flip between playing, or not even a coin flip, a choice between the Prime Catcher versus the Secret Box versus the Blender. I feel like with the deck as potentially clunky as Ancient Box, I lean more towards the Blender. How do you feel about that?
I think the Blender is a cool card. I love the Secret Box, though.
Sure.
I think that card is really good in Gardevoir, Charizard. We saw Miraidon win Sacramento Regional with it
Mm-hmm.
at the hands of Landon Kettler. I just think that the card is way too good because you search your deck for one of every trainer, and this Ancient Box deck, it's not like they don't want to find their Sada, their Ancient Booster Capsule. They could find their Stadium, their Pokestops to mill more cards. You don't. It's a deck where you don't mind milling your Sadas because you do more damage, and then you can just Palpat them back in, or you mill your, what is it, Ancient, it's a Hapu reprint. Look at top 6. Not Professor's Guidance. Holy moly, I'm losing it.
No, Explorer's Guidance.
Explorer's Guidance,
Yes,
yes. So, you don't mind milling that. It's just pretty cool where you can just Palpad whatever you need, Super Rod whatever you need. And yes, the Klefki is really good.
I think so too. That's pretty
in,
cool.
the stall decks.
Definitely. And now, not to go too far off topic, but I know that people have been kind of leaning towards the Rotomless build, and I guess the key kind of takes that spot, yeah?
I'm indifferent.
Okay.
I haven't actually played stall since the Rotomless build became a thing. I've just been playing Gardevoir because I think Gardevoir is broken.
I think so too. And
Gardevoir's
it pains me to say it, but it's pretty crazy right now. In being able to sit across some players like Michael Davidson or Josh Fring, and then just had them just show you a masterclass on Gardevoir is just
or
is
me.
brutal.
Yeah.
Or Mo.
I'm the local legend. Okay?
I haven't had a chance to play in a cup the past few months, even though we've been showing up to like all of them together.
Yeah, shout out Wow Bao, but
Shout out
yeah,
to Wow Bao.
we've definitely been sitting next to each other, which is great. I'm a big fan of that. And yeah, there's a lot of Ancient Box.
Olive, a lot of Ancient Box slander.
I am not a fan of this deck.
Like,
I just think it's like
it was something that I heavily considered going into Baltimore, and in hindsight, probably should have taken it. But like you were saying, it's only so many things you could do with it.
Did it win the event?
I don't think it did well at all at the event.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So you could have. I think Charizard's always a good play.
I think so too, and that's what I plan on playing for the up until that was Terrestrial Festival or whatever it's called comes out.
We see
You see the
one
the-
ancient card in the discard, and then an ancient card that lets you discard a card and find 2 energy cards from your deck. That is none other than the Earthen Vessel.
absolutely, and
So,
we do see
more discard fodder.
Yeah, and we see Matt just dumping the capsule because even though it does give you that extra HP boost against Drago, it's almost like a super irrelevant card. I mean, 200 is not a safe number against Drago, so you might as well just dump it into the discard, get that extra 10 damage, and move forward with it. And even though, like we were saying before, Drago is just crazy good, Junior has really left himself open to a potential really early KO if Matt can really juice up his discard here.
I believe.
It's
Now,
possible.
I don't believe in the deck, but I believe in Matt. Matt's goated. Junior's also a goated player, but
Oh yeah, he's been
Yeah.
gone for a few weeks or months now, so he's a little bit rusty.
we're looking at the One of Dark patch. So if Matt finds the One of Dark patch, he can use his Explorer's Guidance as a supportive return. Otherwise, he'd want to use that Professor Sada.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think he had the Sada in hand though. From what I saw, I think the Guidance is the only main support. He's like was triple energy in hand. Oh man.
I believe. I believe.
Here we go. Here we go.
Dark patch, dark patch, dark patch.
Oh, but the
Please.
Pal Pad. He's gonna have to debate whether he dumps it or keeps it. And I think that's a major key to his game plan here. I think he has to keep it.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, right. Especially as a one
It's
of.
Palpat Sada because you just need to be able to draw these cards
Unfortunately,
on your next turn to have a follow up.
we won't see an attack here from Matt, which really opens up the game for Junior to come back in here.
Yeah, but we're probably not going to see an attack from Junior, right?
It doesn't look like it. His hand looks pretty. Oh man, not
Yikes.
great. No real playable cards.
That's
here.
an Earthen Vessel, right?
It is a vessel.
So you can
So we
vessel
get
away
one more
like
card here.
mean-
In the perfect world, given what he has in hand here, it
I'd
wouldn't.
vessel away the Radzard.
I agree. I think it wouldn't be bad to we vessel and then hope potentially for like a Prime Catcher, go double attached to Teal Mask, Prime Catcher KO.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, but
That's a lot.
with
But
what
it's
he has
possible.
with what he has in hand, it's like close to nothing.
I mean, it's possible. You draw one card and then you Pokestop. You can see it maybe, even if it's ability attached.
'Cause, like,
No.
Without any other things to bench and set up for the next turn, how comfortable really is Junior just going Teal Dance attached pass?
So it's Prime Catcher or Switch. Because
Switch,
Junior does
right.
have the Boss in hand, which you don't want to use Boss plus Switch just to use the effective Prime Catcher, but you don't really have anything. We see
Drago.
Reggie Drago.
Okay,
That's
okay,
huge.
that's major.
Now, at this point, I would maybe play the Pokestop just because, I mean, maybe I play it, or I could Motivate.
That's very
If you
interesting.
mill energies, you can Motivate for sure.
Motivate is not terrible.
But
He's
I want to
debating
see how many
the
are in
superior
discard
here.
right now. I wouldn't use the Superior yet.
No,
Just
I think
Motivate
you
then. Just Motivate.
I think just manually attach Motivate. Yeah.
The 20 damage is pretty important.
Because what is
or
it? It's
not-
double grass.
It's not necessarily important, but
That's very interesting.
I think the Motivate's better because you can also retreat. No. There's no point of using the Superior.
I would have liked to see the Pokestop before.
We saw the
Sinnoh.
Pokestop.
Did we?
Right? No? Did we not?
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, we see the one draw one off the
The Teal Mask, yeah. But I guess seeing as how he has like a bunch of clunky cards and he doesn't want to mill the more valuable resources, which makes sense.
I guess, but I would still like to see. Oh, the Prime Catcher was in the Squawk hand. That's good, but I would like to see the. If there's an energy in the discard pile, you just Motivate because you go 1-for-1 on the energy, but there's 2 energy in there. The Motivate would have been crazy.
Motivate would have been pretty sick, but it also leaves you with no energy in discard.
Yeah, but that's fine. If you manually retreat your Squawk, or if it gets knocked out, you just get another energy back off
That's
the
true.
Superior. If you really want to use your Superior,
Yeah, for
like,
one, yeah.
if you're contemplating using your Superior and you have 2 energy into the discard pile, you might as well just attach and then Motivate because you have a free pivot with your Squawk if it doesn't get knocked out, which if it doesn't get knocked out, your opponent has bigger problems. But I really think the Motivate would have been better.
Now, Olive, going to your comment there, do you think that playing a card, an ace-spec that wasn't Blender, would have maybe flipped those odds back to like 45, 55 against you? I feel like the Blender definitely helps with that turbo damage. And I mean, you and I have talked about it at locals a handful of times, and I'm a big advocate of it too. Now, is there a potential to see like a crazy we did Sada for turner, right? So we're not gonna see like a crazy gust or anything. But even just getting the KO on the Squawk here is a crazy crazy advantage here.
Watch your language.
Secret Bot makes it unfavored. Interesting. Well, I mean, I feel like this deck period is pretty vulnerable to Iona late game. No. Oh,
It's okay.
he's not getting the. Oh, he's just short.
The motivate would have gone
Yeah.
crazy.
We see the Draco off the rip here. We see.
With the top deck research. Oh my goodness. The motivate would have actually gone crazy. Now this needs to be like, I don't know.
Interesting. So
Chill dance into energy switch, but like, I just have a couple issues with it. Oh, that's really good too, but I mean, no. Now you have to draw. There's no way to
Fire
attack this
E-switch?
turn. No, there's no way to attack.
Yes, there is.
No, because you attach return to the active.
No, he needed double E switch then.
Yeah, but
we
you
see- we
attach
see
to the
one.
active.
Oh, that's right. He's not getting the fire. Duh.
Yeah, that just means what you're attacking with.
And honestly, in hindsight, I think he saw the pieces he needed to get the attack off too.
With an ogre, I guess.
I was thinking that too,
Comes back to that motivate, man.
but it does. And I feel like if you do swing with the ogre here, you're leaving yourself pretty wide open to another 2-prize swing.
Yeah.
And then that leaves the squawk is just so weak. Or it's really disappointing to see that he couldn't get that 3 extra, because that would have put Matt in a crazy position after the next turn.
So, yeah, we're looking at like, you're gonna swing. They just need what, 6 extra damage just to hit the 210 cap, which like, or the
6 extra.
210 threshold, which it's not that hard for this
No,
deck.
definitely not.
Especially if you find another Pokebot, or not, I said Pokebox, Pokestop, and you're able to mill 3, play a Sada, draw into an Earthen Vessel. Plus, if this Moon goes down, that's 1 more card, so you only need to actually 5 more cards in the discard pile.
True.
Plus, if there's a Sada play, that's 1 more card. I mean, what are we seeing here?
I mean, hey, the egg is like a free prize in this matchup. Flip heads or tails are getting a free prize.
Yeah, it's not a
No, I know.
it's not a $10,000 flip tails and get your invite like Cal Connor had, but it is indeed.
It is a 15-point clutcher.
It
here.
could get you 15 points and make you 3-0 at this challenge. But I believe, is Junior still playing in the... Oh, Junior's a master. Or
Yeah.
Is Junior a master?
Yeah, he is.
That's good for Junior.
He aged up like during NAIC.
Okay,
So
for
like
sure.
it was his last senior
Last
event.
hurrah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Junior's always going to be in the seniors division.
Yeah,
In
right.
my mind, it's always like seeing people grow up in front of you. You're like, oh no, they're still like in high school, right? Like Grant Chen going to college. He's I think like 2 years into college
Yeah.
now, and I'm like, Grant Chen's 2 years into college. What do you mean? I remember when I was like 18 years old and he was playing like juniors. I'm like, how old am I? Yeah. It is. Same with Michael Davidson. Michael
Yeah.
Davidson's doing wonderful things in the Pokemon game, and I remember when he first started coming to like the NRG locals, and he was still in the seniors division, and now I'm like, okay, well, Michael Davidson is going on college tours
Yeah.
now. Good for him. Michael Davidson's doing great things, but gosh, does that make me feel old?
I mean, that's how I feel with like my neighborhood as well. You know, they're all a couple years younger than me. So even though I was able to graduate first, just seeing them go doing their life thing is pretty crazy to see too.
Definitely. It's it used to be like, oh, when you see someone have facial hair, but I'm like, I have a baby face and I'm 26. So that's not the case, but it's a matter of like seeing, when you're sending off your local players to college and you're like, okay, see you later, buddy.
What the single tear rolling down your face? Just like, oh my
Definitely.
goodness.
Yeah. People are doing great things though. I'm happy for Evan Smith, who is a member of the team. He's playing in his university for his esports team
Mhm.
with Reagan Retzloff, which is
Yes.
kind of crazy to see. Reagan also had a blast at Toronto, so he didn't make the announcement that he's going to be at the San Antonio
I
regional.
saw that as well.
But I remember when not when he started playing the game, he played before me, but like I remember seeing Reagan on the stage at NAIC 2017 in the finals, and I was like, okay, well that makes me really old now, right? Like, holy moly! But it's not about Reagan right now. Maybe it'll be about Reagan at San Antonio. We'll see.
Maybe.
But
here
right now,
Yeah, go ahead.
it's about Christian Moshi Jr. and Matt.
And we did see Christian elect to go with that Ogre Pond knockout. But Matt has a pretty quick retaliation here. He has 3 Moon back on the board, all of them ready for the next attack. And I'm just curious to see before he ends up attacking, obviously, how he ends up closing out this turn.
I think we're gonna see Is it Vengeance Fletching?
Yeah.
Or is that
Uh,
what it is?
yeah. Vengeance Fletching.
Vengeance Fletching. We're
Yes,
gonna see that.
yes, Kev. He is back. Happy to see him, of course. Back in the cup playing Drago. His hand this game, or his starting hand, wasn't the best. Curious to see how he navigates around this matchup now that Matt has a decent amount of damage on the board and in the discard.
Good night, Olive. A little early for EUIC, but hope hope you get some good rest. Good night. Hope you have a dream about Roaring Moon, and you wake up ready to play another deck.
There you go.
And
I
now
think
we
I think
have-
they were saying that they're gonna drop it, so it's all good. The second Drago back on the board.
yeah, no RCS decks, no Roaring Moon, and we're all good.
There you go. I did have a request to limit the arc slander on the stream today, courtesy of Alex Cruz.
Yeah, well, too bad. Should have been here.
No, no.
No, I hope Alex is feeling better. He
Yeah,
did say
definitely.
that he had food poisoning.
Yeah.
That won't stop me from dissing RCS, but I won't diss him. Yeah.
Fair
Alex is
enough.
the homie. RCS, I played at the one regional. I went 5-3-1, I believe, so
Alright.
I wasn't too happy. With day 2 with Arcdura, but that's okay.
That's definitely before my time. I've heard many stories of the Arcdura, though.
Yeah, that deck was sick.
So here we finally see the Regidrago coming into the active here and ready to attack.
The mainstay of the deck. The reason why the deck is
The
called
reason why it's good.
Regidrago, not Ogrepon and Friends.
Yeah, it's not Ogrepon Squawk deck. It's definitely Regidrago. So
not.
we are going for. Oh, we got the E switch. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm assuming. Actually, this may just be the Goo play. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Goo,
you just have to.
Goodra
right?
goes so crazy in this matchup. It's like
Gooder's good. You
it
have
changes
your
those
V-Star
numbers.
still,
Yeah, he has. Yeah, and I don't think he's really in any has any urgency to use that V star anytime soon either.
but he is urgently putting back in a Fire Energy,
What's his fire?
a
combo?
Fez,
The 2 fire. Okay.
and a Regidrago V-Star.
So as the chat was mentioning, the resource management, Christian doesn't know that his only leftover fire energies in the discard. Got to put it back if he has any hope of setting up a second attacker.
Mullerator, there's probably 2 or 3. I would have to say about 2 or 3 boosters in the discard.
I
pile.
would say I think it's 2, and we discarded him pretty early, so I would imagine he has 2 still in deck.
2 for sure.
2 for sure.
But past that, I couldn't tell you because sometimes they don't fan out their discard pile. Some people play with their discard pile fanned out. Some people don't. It's okay.
Yeah. So we're looking at, was that 200 damage from the Vengeance Fletching now. He was at 190 in the last attack, so yeah, now he's at 200.
Oh yeah, fan it out for us.
There we
Let's see,
go.
Let's see.
I see.
C2?
I thought it was 2.
Thank
1,
you,
2,
Junior. It's like he
2.
hears
There
us,
you
but he
go.
doesn't.
I hope not. But again, like we were saying before, the 200 number isn't super relevant in this matchup. I feel
Yeah.
like the 200 gets hit pretty quickly, whether it be with the Goo or the Drago.
It's
Or
just
the,
crazy
Dragonbolt,
to
I
me,
mean.
though, because you hit the 200 number, that's not enough, but then you want to hit that 210. And then also, on the Squawkabilly, you hit 150.
Yeah.
Not enough. You're 10 damage short. You're like, oh my goodness, where's my Vitality Band, right? Like,
Anything.
literally anything. And we see the Secret Box coming in wonders, discarding a pair of fighting Pokemon.
The double Karai. Oh
Also,
no, not double
ancient
Karai.
Pokemon. No,
The Great Tusk. My
put some
bad, my
respect
bad.
on the Great Tusk. The only part of the deck that I actually like.
And we did see the second place Champions League deck play the 4 Great Tusk, which is pretty sick. I wonder, is that what Matt's doing here? He has the 1 Tusk. So when we were testing Ancient Box earlier in the season, we did plan on playing at least 2 Great Tusks because the mill line, it's not always there, but
Pretty good.
but when you could use it, it's pretty devastating.
Yeah, after your opponent V-stars with the Regidrago deck and you go, well, that's pretty sick. Yeah, you have, 3 prizes remaining? Oh,
Boom.
mill 4.
Exactly.
Oh, you have 2 cards left in the deck?
Oh,
Play that Iona, buddy.
mill
Oh, you
4.
don't have an Iona? That's
Oh,
okay.
no, you milled all 4 of them. Man.
mill 4.
Tragic. It goes pretty crazy. We see the Gravity Mountain tech in this too, which is pretty awesome. I do like that. We had commented on its sister card, Lively Stadium, earlier in the cast, but I do think that Gravity Mountain has a bit more relevance than the other stadium that came out. And we do see the counter catcher, and this will get a clean KO onto this Drago here, which is fantastic.
I would have liked to see holding the other Ancient Booster capsule. I mean, sometimes you just have to discard it, but at the same time, was there another card you could have discarded in your hand? Maybe.
Maybe. Or even just putting it onto the benched moon rather than the active.
Yeah, we'll see what's happening here. The Vengeance Fletching.
I think it's doing exactly 220, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be enough to knock
Oh,
out.
no, it's not. It's 240. My apologies.
240, yikes. Plus, if you're going to super out some Pokemon back in, you're doing
Careful
a little
with the
less damage.
numbers. Okay.
You could.
I
Hear me
mean,
out. Hear me out.
in testing, there have been a lot of situations where you rod bag your moons and you're 10 short.
No. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you.
I want to see a Sada on a Fluttermane, right?
Okay.
I want to see it attached to a Fluttermane.
Oh, hold on. I see what's going on here.
I see two Pokemon that are really close to getting knocked
Indeed.
out. Now, you can't split the damage off the
No.
Fluttermane, but that would be too sweet.
That would be.
But
Well, to be fair, even if you could split, it wouldn't get the 4 here. He needs 2 on the Ogerpon, not just the 1.
I know math.
Okay.
Well, no, I do.
Regardless,
A
Fluttermane's-
Halucha plus
Ooh.
Fluttermane.
the Halucha in the moon. going
Double
nuts.
Halucha would go
Jeez.
crazy.
That'd be a crazy. Like, let me go double check the list. No Lucha in the 60s.
Oh
so,
my gosh, that's
tragic.
not my 60.
It's not an ancient.
My 60
Pokemon.
has triple Halucha,
No, you cannot.
um,
You cannot split.
Radiant Gardevoir, or not Radiant Gardevoir, Radiant Alakazam. That card's crazy.
When Fluttermane came out, it was a Paradox Rift. I played in a sneak peek or a pre-release, and I initially read Fluttermane as splitting and doing 10-10.
That'd be broken.
Would that be pretty sick? But no, it's not any way you like. I think it's just you put 20 onto a bench Pokemon.
That'd be good in this Pokemon deck.
That'd be really crazy in this matchup. Or in this situation, in this matchup.
Does Matt just have a way to like win?
I think, as in
I
like,
think so, right? Like, does Matt play the Iron Bundle? That would be pretty sick. He does not, but he plays the Brute Bonnet. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Doesn't really
I've
do
s-
much. The Monkey Dory.
the Monkey Door is pretty interesting. I feel like
What?
is
Monkey Dory
is
comes
this
up.
the list that this is not the same 60 from Champions League, but it's more similar than the ones we've seen in the West lately.
Definitely adding the Monkey Dory, the Brute Bonnet, like these unconventional cards that are pretty cool. They come up, and I do like seeing the Brute Bonnet
I like the Monkey Dory honestly more. I feel like with the
or the Monkey Dory.
yeah,
I'm thinking about
with how relevant Drago is and getting the pult spread damage, being able to put
healing your board.
3, yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah, but not just healing, but getting that little boost. Because if we saw that earlier, it would have gotten the KO on the Squawk. It would have gotten the KO on the Ogerpon.
Yeah, the Brute Bonnet would have gotten the KOs on them.
Both
The
of them would have
Monkey
actually. Yeah.
Dory's gonna come in clutch if any damage comes down. Now, I don't think Junior's playing around the Monkey Dory,
No, definitely not.
but I think Junior's just saying, I want to wall everything.
I wonder if he even knows that Monkey has even been played in Ancient Box at all.
Maybe.
It's super fresh. I feel like if you weren't eyeballing the past like 2 weeks of tournaments, you wouldn't even know it was in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known had I not have been casting.
Yeah, definitely.
And looking at the list in front of me that says Monkey Dory from Twilight Masquerade,
I do like that though.
I think that card's broken.
It's pretty awesome, especially on your end with the Guardia, of course.
I love that card.
see the
That has to be
TM
one of my
Nestle.
favorite cards in the Scarlet Violet
Really?
expansion. Yeah, it's just so good. The fact that it like heals damage always leads to like these really cool plays,
Mhm.
and I'm a super big fan of those.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I'm a super big fan of like maybe not alternate win conditions, although I do play those decks a fair bit, but it's a matter of like not just beat sticking your way to winning,
Yeah.
but being able to like methodically place damage and play around your opponent's, triggering Pheasantipity by doing one knockout, then one knockout, but instead doing like, okay, I'll take a knockout with Monkey Dory, and then I'll also take a knockout in the same turn with my attack for a turn.
Yeah.
So I'm a super big fan of like planning out your knockouts. And right here we're just seeing
I think we're just
you know,
organizing.
Superior Energy Retrieval. And
Oh no, he did. Okay,
that's gonna get some energy cards. Into
that's
the
got to
hand.
be enough for sure.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's 18, 25. Well, not enough.
It's okay. You have the
No, it is. I'm
the
sorry.
Great Ninja plus Ultra Ball. You're gonna get there. Matt, use the Great Ninja.
He's
Use it.
25.
Do it.
He needs 3 more. The
Do
monkey
it.
would go crazy here.
The monkey would go crazy.
Because healed into monkey would actually get it. We're just going to see the counter catcher. No problem. Honestly, before we counter catchered, I would have liked to see a potential concealed card maybe into the monkey. But I guess we still could see it here for the actually for the win here. Oh, dude, if we had changed the sequencing on that, we could have had the counter catcher, the monkey, and the dark energy. Because
That
we
would've been
drew because we
too good.
but we didn't want to gamble that hard. Oh no, he doesn't. You're right. I keep on thinking
There's no damage.
I
Yeah,
keep
there's no deep pulp being
I
played.
keep on mistaking the Zam for the monkey in this case. Holy moly. Because with the effect of Zam, obviously it'll be crazy, but you're not playing that.
It would. I mean,
I'm just getting them all
there's
confused.
still a way, right? Like, Santa Claus is back. Yeah, there's still a way. I mean, all you need is what, just a boss's order, or maybe
With like super hindsight, we could have seen a play. Oh no, never mind. This is the first time I was getting to the discard. If we had seen Dragon Ball hit the discard earlier, we could have done a crazy amount of spread to set up a cure and play for game here. But I believe this is the first time we've seen Polton discard this game, so maybe that was off the table.
maybe that was the reason. But I also think that the Gudra attack is really, really good. Maybe
100%.
I would probably go like Dragapult turn 2, and then from there maybe Gudra, or like if you have the Dragapult turn 2, I think you just full on Pult. But if you don't, then you probably just go ahead and use the Gudra from then on out.
I think so too. And seeing as how we saw Matt discard 2 boosters pretty early, he may have been. I don't know. I don't know if Junior was keeping track of how vulnerable he may have been to the cure and play. It's not super conventional.
Definitely. Also, Molerator, there's not an iron bundle in the list.
No,
I
there's
checked
not.
because I was also thinking the same thing. Back when Junior only had the 2 damaged Pokemon on bench and the 1 Regidrago active, I was like, oh, this is super simple. But there's no iron bundle, so maybe foregoing the iron bundle in order to fit cards like the Monkey Dory Brute Bonnet. Brute Bonnet would maybe no, because you don't have the booster capsule.
Right.
So you can't even Brute Bonnet anymore. But the Monkey Door possibly would come into effect if Junior, for whatever reason, just uses a non-Gudra attack this turn and uses the Dragapult. We could see it coming up. But I don't think Junior's going to use the Dragapult. I think you just go Gudra with the Iono, hope your opponent doesn't draw anything, and then you Gudra the next Roaring Moon, and then your opponent really doesn't have anything.
Well, because with Gudra puts you at 360, right? Or is it 340?
Yeah, effectively 360 HP. You're taking the 80 less, so your opponent really has to hit over this hurdle. Or find a gusting card, which I don't know if they're going to find. We'll see. There's nothing.
Yes. Oh, that's crazy, because now he's at 28 exact. So that Gudra puts him just out of range.
You could Super Rod back in, like a boss's order,
Super Rod the
and
ball?
then play the Greninja and
Palpad
have
the
to
ball?
draw. Or Palpad, I said Super Rod.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You could Palpad back in, like, boss, and then, like, hope to draw, like, energy plus boss off the Greninja, which I don't think is really good. But I
don't
think
so.
you're just gonna go ahead and try to find the Sada off of this Greninja.
How many counter catcher were in deck? 2. We saw him
Yeah, but
discard to
both
1
of 'em-
already.
both of 'em
Both are
were
gone?
played, yeah.
Okay. So we're really just praying for the
I believe so. So to
boss.
bring up the Regidrago V, remember?
And then
And
the
then
ogre, yeah.
Ogre, yeah. So
Okay.
we're just praying
Wait,
off
no,
this
he didn't gust the
Greninja.
ogre because the ogre was in the active after he KO'd.
True.
So I don't know. But yeah.
Still, I think one's discarded anyways. Plus, your opponent's already at 1 prize. I don't.
All right, 2 cards in a dream. Oh,
Oh.
tough. And the Gravity Mountain doesn't do anything in this matchup here. So we see Junior going 3-0 here. Very interesting. I feel like Matt's again, as we know historically, Ancient Box is very vulnerable to the late game Iono. It kind of just flops. It seems like I don't know if I saw that right. Was the monkey prized on Matt's end? That'd have been pretty cool. I'm gonna step out for a moment though, so Mo, if you don't mind taking over while I'm out, I'll be right back.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, we can talk about a couple of these decks that are doing well in the field. We have our Miraidon decks. We have our Ancient Box that, it's X and 1 now. Being 3 and 1's not too bad right now. Or, I believe it's, 3 and 1 right now. Or 2 and 1. What round are we on? Oh my god, what year is this? This was round 3, so it's 2 and 1. And I'm trying to think of what else. We have... What else is in the field? We have a lot of the Dragapult decks. A lot of them, which I'm not the biggest fan of. watching versus the Charizard deck, which was our backup stream, because that matchup just seems a little rough if you don't have the answers, if you don't have Canceling Clone or something. But I think that would make up a good matchup if they had a Canceling Clone, which Eli is not playing today. It was Eli versus Alec on the backup stream. The Iron Thorns Dragapult EX versus the Charizard EX. I don't know who came out on top in that match, but maybe we'll check the floor, take a little bit of a break. Everyone, get yourself a little drink, and we'll come back with the next round pretty soon. Everyone, see you soon.
never mind.
And we're back
We are back.
with a mulligan because these players are not starting yet since there is a mulligan. You can't really start the game without a basic
Exactly.
Pokemon. That's kind of how it is. We see Samuel texting.
Samuel back in the cut after a long hiatus. Solid like 3 months off the grid. Happy to have him back. No, it's not, is it?
Yeah.
Is it? There's no U?
Goldengo.
I thought that was right.
There's no U.
Oh no.
Give me Ghoul. Goldengo.
I think that's fine, but it's Dengo, not Dango. With with
Yeah.
an E, you know.
These Pokemon names.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you're looking
Actually,
at a
we can
Pokemon
find
like
out.
Aerodactyl, right?
Good luck
and-
spelling that
oh
one.
my goodness,
A second mulligan. No.
So I was spelling pterodactyl before, and
Okay.
I like it's pterodactyl, right? You
Right.
gotta remember it like that. There's a P before it, but then I'm like, well, Aerodactyl spelled like this, so it has to be that Pokemon's actually teaching me how to spell things correctly and not setting me up for looking like a little bit of a lunatic when I spell things weird. And I mean, like Alcremie, like random Pokemon, right? Like
Yeah.
Alcremie, Chestnut, like.
Chestnut's
And
an
I'm like, how do you
interesting
spell
one.
chestnut? Okay, well I know how to do that. So chestnut, like,
Yeah.
and they add like random letters, but
Same sounds, different spellings.
yeah, I don't know, and I already spell like I have terrible spelling. Like,
Oh my, yeah. I'm
so
with you
bad
on that.
at it.
It looks like Samuel has a pretty decent opening though. We see the Evo, we see the Puff, and we see a way to get energy. His mulligans weren't anything super impactful, but we do know that he has the Fez available plus the Brave Charm. Did Sam elect to play 2 Brave? I'm assuming he is. I'm assuming he's playing Josh's list, yeah. I would imagine
Sorry,
no
if you got
worries.
that little ASMR of me drinking water.
I would imagine it's
I
something along
believe
those lines.
so. Yeah,
I know that him and
Sam
Rachel
does get
are
coaching from Josh.
exactly.
Yes.
So we see the pretty. It's interesting. Does he have a second? Oh, he got the nest ball. Okay. I was wondering why we saw Oliver elect to go with just the one gimme goal, but he does have other bolsters to get the other gimme goals on the board.
The Togepi, broken Togepi.
Definitely. According to you, not the best one apparently. According
It's
to you,
not, dude. The one that has the attack for a colorless energy is actually way better because, in my opinion, you can catch people off guard and really punish poor play. I mean, this one's better than the 50 HP like swing for 2 energy,
100%.
but I do think that like the attacking one is also pretty good. Like, it's just so niche at this
Mhm.
point that like there's a reason for all of them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's definitely an argument.
Samuel, you don't know Samuel, big dog Samuel.
Where did they
You don't know
respawn
Oliver?
from?
That's the best Goldango player on stream right now.
True.
We got the
do see
guardian
the
goat
Fez
right
coming
now.
down off the rip. I'm curious to see what he planned. Well, why he elected to do that instead of just getting the gimme goal. Did we have just a bunch of goals prized?
Hopefully not.
hope
I'd like to
not.
see a good game.
Because seeing as how we're shuffling it up, we're not going back in the deck here, and we just have the lone gimme goal.
Big Pika.
Oh, that's not great. Hopefully he has a way of getting another one on the board. Because having that one by itself is kind of asking for it.
Yeah, we're seeing
Oh, you see
a
the
neat
ninja.
setup. I personally would have liked to use the concealed cards first
Mm-hmm.
because did Oliver even have any like great cards? Attaching?
Oh man.
What? I wouldn't. Okay.
Interesting
Let's
use of
see.
resources there. I feel like I'm just assuming that Oliver has many gimme goal prize.
Many, but then we're gonna see like a Buddy Poffin next turn and be like, oh, okay.
Oh,
never
I
mind.
hope not. I hope not. Because that Fez, especially going first, doesn't really do a whole lot.
We're
If
seeing
anything.
prize checking with the quickness.
Oh yeah.
Samuel.
Samuel's not missed a beat since coming back. That's for sure. The hiatus did not do
Slow
anything to his
down.
speed. He is zooming.
All right, we've got 0 Carlios prized, 0 Ralts prized, and Gardevoir EX's prized. I think one's in the hand,
And,
right? Show me. Yep, one's in the hand.
And we are going to see the
All
double
right,
curly
let's
this
see,
turn
let's
as
see.
well.
I'm
'cause
locking
he has
in.
Evo energy ready to go.
There's okay. What's prized? That's too much effort.
Yeah.
Just play the heavy ball. I hope you draw into heavy ball and just show us. So much work to keep up with this. I don't have like the showering gun. I can't look at this stuff.
No, me neither. I'm not that quick, especially with the deck I'm not as familiar with the 60 of. Guardy I kind of stay away from.
Oh, Hector, you
Shout out
dog.
to Hector, man. We miss you, man. Wish you could have showed up today. It'd have been awesome to see you. He's definitely been tuning into the streams the past couple weeks. He's been in chat.
Yeah, shout out to Hector at work, but still putting in that work.
The man.
The #1 Loonderies player, or what is that, Deck?
I know what you're talking about,
Crossing
but
games.
I know I know the terminology there, but I don't know what he's playing. I don't think he even plays
Maybe no,
that
probably
format.
not.
I'm
Probably
pretty
not
sure.
that cursed game. But
I'll be seeing
Hector
him
does
on.
play Gardevoir sometimes.
He does.
On occasion.
I feel like we're gonna see a lot of players that have been digging Gardevoir the past couple months come back to it as we reach the end of the format. I feel
Definitely.
like if you know what you're doing, this deck is crazy.
If they open up registration for the Yucatan Regional, I am definitely gonna try to swing it and attend to play Gardevoir one last time. Give
One
it a last
time, the
hurrah
hurrah,
before
for sure.
rotation.
Because that's gonna be
At least a last hurrah in like a tropical setting.
sure. Because that's gonna be when Badoo's legal. No.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That's broken Gardevoir. It's not just Gardevoir, it's broken Gardevoir
Broken
format.
Gardevoir.
That's crazy.
What are you talking about, Hector? Holy, this is nonsense. I know. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right. Well, you get that game out of there. Can we get someone ban him? No.
There you go. The Kev's got
The
it.
ban hammer.
The solemn judgment. The nope.
The nope.
And
If we're playing a game where you can nope, you can also nope a nope.
you
Then
can.
nope a nope a nope.
You can. I've
Yeah.
seen some crazy chains in that game for sure, especially with the nopes.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna see the pretty typical Evo and the double curly here. Iono first.
Chain link too. What are
Oh,
we
yeah.
talking
Oh,
about? This
yeah,
is
yeah.
Pokemon. You can't play on your opponent's turn.
Dude.
You just let them do whatever they
Hey,
want, and
that
then
wasn't
respond
always
to them.
that wasn't always the case though. I've done my my history lessons. There was a Pokemon hand trap at one point. That's
Are you talking about the Power Spray?
I am.
I think you had
That's
to have what 2 SP Pokemon to play in order to
something
play
like
that card.
It's either that or just have at least one. But that's pretty cool. I would honestly like to see something like that come back. Not maybe that whole format with all of the other stuff that isn't as fun to play with, but having some sort of counterplay on your opponent's turn, I think, brings a totally different dynamic to the game. I think as a one of, or like as like a one card kind of situation like that, I wouldn't mind having that kind of thing come back. What do you think about that?
I think it would be cool to have, but actually, like, it just depends on the format too, because it's not about having one powerful card, but it's also about the cards around it.
True.
Think about a card like Boss's Order. There's formats where we had gusting cards, and we're like, oh yeah, that's pretty healthy. And then we had formats where like the ADP format where like Boss's Order was just absurd.
Yeah.
Your opponent uses their GX attack and then Boss wins the game.
Yay.
So it really just depends on the format.
I agree. That's a good point to make too. Is, cards in a vacuum can only be so good. It just depends on what you have as the surrounding cast around it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
On the next turn, that there's just some downtime. Maybe someone's doing some price checking. I'm gonna have you read this card. It's Dusknoir level.
Oh, I know. I know what this card does.
Yeah, that
I'm,
card's
let's read it
broken.
out loud though. So if Dusknoir's reactive Pokemon will be knocked out by damage, you may discard all cards attached to Dusknoir and put it as a stadium. That's pretty cool. And it counts as being knocked out. And you may, as long as you have Dusknoir as a stadium, you can put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon between turns. It's like it's Frostless on roids here.
Yeah, it's like Shrine of Punishment.
Yeah, and then that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and you just discard if it swaps stadiums.
Yeah.
I like cards like that.
What
I
a
feel
card.
like maybe not in that sort of
That's a lot of reading for a
it's a lot.
12-year-old picking up
Exactly.
the game, right?
And that's
But
something that's really deterred players from other TCGs as well. It's like so much reading, rereading, explaining, talking through. It's like, let me just play the game.
Yeah, you know what's not a lot of reading?
What's that?
Energy Search Pro.
True.
Pretty simple. You look for all the different energies. You make sure you don't grab 2 of a kind. And you just
Oh, here we go. Sam
grab
double
1,
checking
grab
it.
2, grab 3.
You're just grabbing the rainbow. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Literally, taste the rainbow.
Exactly. Skittles deck.
You grab everything. Your water energy, fighting energy, your metal energy. I could put a Radiant Charizard in this deck. But
know-
too bad you what Pokemon do you like over the Radiant Charizard?
I don't know. I feel like going back to Hector's comment here with the Max C. I feel like that'd be kind of cool to introduce a card like Max C into Pokemon. It's like when your opponent evolves a Pokemon, draw a card
That'd be pretty
for
interesting.
that turn. I think that's pretty cool. And Max C red, like whenever your opponent would special summon, draw a card. So
Okay.
it would have your opponent debate whether or not they want to continue with the play or just kind of do the 1 or 2 draw and then just pass the turn.
I could see that on maybe a basic Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or like maybe an evolution Pokemon of your own.
I think that's pretty cool.
We see the Iron Bundle now come out. And it's going away with that Hyper Blower ability, bringing up Well, it's not bringing anything up. But Samuel chooses to bring up a Greninja to match the one that was in the active spot. But that one's leaving because that one's retreating into this Goldengo. This little cheese stick can draw 2 cards when it's in the active spot, not just one with the coin bonus.
Now, I will say, I did see Oliver play Dango at a challenge last weekend, and one thing that I had talked to him about was not always necessarily swinging for the sake of swinging. Even though you have a lot of resources to bring back your energy from the discard, you know, dumping, dumping 2 in this, even though he has enough for the KO, I would see him maybe do 2 if he only had 2 energy in hand and just get that 100 damage. And I
Yeah.
was mentioning, like, even though you're getting that damage down, you really want to be able to just get the big swings and just wipe it off the board rather than just poking away at it.
Exactly. You want to really just go for the knockouts
Yeah.
and hopefully go for that Togekiss ability where you can. It's something kiss.
Oh, I'm not.
Help me here.
I couldn't tell you on the name.
Help me here,
But
chat.
whenever you would get a knockout, flip a coin. If you flip head, take an extra prize off of what you already did. And that ability, the ability to get an extra prize card in general is just, it's so crazy sometimes.
Wonder Kiss.
Wonder Kiss. You know, we've seen it previously
Wonder
with
Kiss.
Iron Hands in the most recent, I guess, outing of cards like that. Now we're seeing Kiss. We're also seeing other prize card manipulation cards like Legacy Energy or the, I don't know what trainer it is, the new item card that's coming, or tool card that's coming out with the trainer set, where if it's attached to a
Oh,
certain
it's
type
like a
of
Lily's
Pokemon,
ball or
there,
something?
yeah, some I wasn't sure, I wasn't
that
sure what
card's
trainer it
broken.
is, but going back to like what we were saying with the like drawing manipulation with cards like, you know, Pokemon version of Maxi or something, I think having the reverse end of the prize card manipulation is really cool, where you're not just having your opponent being proactive, you could also limit what your opponent's taking too.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
it's funny to see that like the whatever the translation is for that card, it's like Lily's ball or something.
Something.
And it's if it's attached to a Lily's Pokemon, then when the Pokemon's knocked out, your opponent takes 1 less prize. That's reminiscent of the old A Spec Life Dew. And Life Dew was
Yes.
so good that like decks had their whole game plan around it. There was this tool, or well, it was an item recovery deck, and since Life Dew at the time was an item, and even though it was a Pokemon tool, but at the time it was an item,
Right.
you would recover it with the Sableye. It had Junk Hunt. That Sableye is banned now, by the way, because for 1 Dark Energy, you grab 2 items from the discard pile, and on occasion you would grab Puzzle of Time, which is also banned.
That's what I was gonna comment on. I wasn't sure
That
if that was in the same
broken.
format. The puzzle time's crazy.
Yeah. And you would just go Life Dew on the active. Your opponent takes 0 prizes on it, and then you just grab double puzzle.
See, those are the kind of cards that I don't want to see come back.
Yeah.
Those discard 2, add anything. It's like so abusable. Same thing with like computer search. It's like it's so abusable. And seeing as how we have so many cards that are not necessarily unfair, quote unquote, but like cards like
Very
Fez,
powerful cards.
very powerful cards like Fez, where it's like you don't want to give everyone everything. You gotta stop somewhere.
Yeah. Speaking of unfair, did we go to the post office? Because I see an unfair stamp
We got
over
the
here.
stamp.
Yes, that is not the stamp of approval. This is the stamp telling your opponent to shuffle their hand into their deck. And what do they do after that?
You draw 2. If you're your opponent, that is. You draw 5 on the player's end. This card is pretty cool. I mean, I like Unfair Stamp a lot. At first, it felt like on paper it was like crazy broken. On release, it was a bit underwhelming, and we're seeing it kind of find its niche over the past few formats, where it's like, it's not a blowout card,
Can I
but
play it turn 1?
I wish that'd be pretty sick.
How can I play it? What do I need?
What do you just need to get that KO, man? You need to get that. You need to have your opponent KO you the turn before, with damage. That's a major one with damage. No. Sorry.
If one of your Pokemon was
Stamp
knocked out last
Stamp
turn.
is just knocked out. I like it a lot. I mean, I don't know. We have such a wide variety of A-Specs now. Initially, we only had the couple to choose from, and Prime kind of like stayed as the main one. But as we've seen, now we have what, like 15 different A-Specs, something like that. It's some crazy number, and a lot of them are finding their place in the meta. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, trying to figure out what all these cards do really just bends my mind, right? You would think a Monkey Doria attacked into me for 60 damage and resulted in me being confused.
And the card flipping upside down.
Of course, I cannot flip upside down, but if I'm this Goldengo in the active spot, I am definitely flipping upside down to show that I am confused. And we're going to see what happens from here. We're going to see if these Goldengos are actually prized or if they're just hiding out in the deck somewhere. Waiting
Oh,
for
here-
a
oh,
hero.
man.
We see it. The 70 HP gimme goal with the Minor Aaron running.
Is that the call for family?
No, this is not call for family.
Oh
The
my
call for
goodness.
family is call for family.
Hey, there.
Myra Aaron running is not call for the fam, but you're calling
Hey.
for energy.
Oh my
You're trying
goodness.
to do a just grabbing all the energy you can, because that or not minior, that minor error in running is like a fourth of the Energy Search Pro. So you could say that you technically, if you play 4 copies of this Gimme Ghoul, you're playing 5 ace specs in your deck, dude.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Why aren't we all just playing Goldingo, man? 5
Why are we
ace
not all
specs?
just playing Gimme Ghoul?
Insane.
I'm gonna start playing this card in my Gardevoir deck, because if I can go turn 1 into my Gimme Ghoul and search out 2 energy, who needs an Earthen Vessel? I can just use my attack for turn.
Why is
What
it-
are we, back to 2011 format?
I'm just gonna swap out any deck that plays Vessel with 4 Gimme Ghoul. And I think we'll be good to go with all that search, yeah?
I'm gonna play an Energy Search Pro in every deck that I play now,
There you go.
because who needs a Prime Catcher? I
Who?
could always play Pokemon Catcher, but you can't always just play minor error and running.
True.
Yeah.
And I do love flipping coins, but you could just go with the normal Pokemon catcher. We're good to go.
Yeah. And if you play the old Pokemon Catchers,
Oh yeah, you just
you
gust
can
it up.
tell your opponent that I just have so much aura with this card that I'm just gonna hit heads anyways, and it's gonna work as it reads, and it just reads as a boss's orders instead of actually having the coin flip.
And that goes back to that comment you made earlier. It's like when Gus wasn't as quote unquote like powerful or like as like abusable as it could be now. We had there were cards like Pokemon Catcher that existed, where it was like a non-conditional Gus item card. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Exactly. Now they have to make it a supporter. We're seeing cards that used to be ace specs and now they're supporter cards
Yeah.
because they learned their lesson, and vice versa. We've seen cards that were not so much. Hey Sam, get off your watch. We've seen cards that might be the opposite, where it used to be an item in like the Diamond Pearl era, the Black and White XY, and now it's actually just. It used to be a supporter, and now it's just an item, because it really just depends on the format. You're not looking at a single card when you're looking at a format, but you're looking at the entirety of the card pool. So
And that kind of like goes to like when people, and it's happening now. It happened a couple months ago with the release of Dusknoir, with the upcoming release of Badoo. I feel like people are, and I myself included, when Dusknoir came out, it was had the potential to be very polarizing, and thankfully with the kind of adjustments that card releases, the Pokemon have come out with card releases, and the balancing of the game, these cards aren't as like suffocating as they on paper could be. I'm hoping
Yeah.
that Badoo turns out to be the same.
or you definitely get like the PTSD flashbacks of like, I remember when item lock was super huge with like the Vikavolt deck about 2 years ago now, when you were playing Lugia and your opponent would like Vikavolt lock you with the paralyzing bolt, and you're like, oh my gosh, never give me item lock again. But it might not be that bad. Cards like Banette EX have seen play at the hands of great players like Tyler Matthews,
Mhm.
or I think his name is like Mateusz.
Mhm.
He's a Polish player, I believe. But yeah, hands at the great players. It's not that bad anymore, because they either have to wait a turn to evolve it, they only do 30 damage a turn, and so it's not as bad as it used to be. But like cards like Seismitoad never bring them back.
And
Badoo only has 30 HP.
like as we saw at the Champions League, a lot of decks that were more item dependent definitely adjusted their game plan. We saw the only Zard that got any top relevance play a Grand Tree. Even though they were playing items and whatnot in the normal, 4 Ultra Ball, they ended up playing, I think, triple Rare Candy, and elected to go with the double Charmeleon, double Pidgeot to go with the Grand Tree. And the meta, even though it will be warping, the other decks that are really heavily influenced by it will change their game plan, and if they can survive, they will survive.
Yeah, you just have to look at it like, sure, there's new cards coming out with this new set, but like, how can I go ahead and take my chances and modify my deck for the new format? Always think about the format that you're in. Always think about the tournament that you're in. You can't fear Badoo when you're playing a format or a tournament in this format, because it's like that card physically cannot hurt you. If your opponent flips over a Badoo, one, is it in English? Two, call a judge because they're playing an illegal deck. The only Badoo that your opponent could play right now is whatever one is standard, but it's not the item lock one, I'll tell you that.
That's for sure. And here we
This
have-
game has been pretty weird. We've seen a Tails on Confusion flips with the Goldengo, but we're also going to see, is there going to be another Mind Bend, or is there going to actually be maybe a swing with the Gardevoir? Because if you have enough damage in the discard pile, you can use Miracle Force with the Gardevoir and swing into the Goldengo for the knockout, because it has wildly enough damage on it without using any of the Monkey Dory
Oh, I remember.
ability.
Now, So we do see the 3 energy in Sam's discard. So I do think that going with the Gardevoir here may have been the right play. I mean, you swing for near perfect damage here, and you can conserve your Drifloon for the later game. While we do potentially see, hold on.
Oh, okay. So I think Sam was trying to get a 2-prizer out of play, but instead Sam didn't use the ability of the Gardevoir,
Sure.
the Psychic Embrace, but instead retreated and then used Professor Turo, but didn't retreat, use the Psychic Embrace, then Professor Turo. So a little bit of a misstep,
Yeah.
but I think it's okay just because your opponent's a little far behind, given if Oliver's able to find a way back into this game, it'll involve. I would like to see a rare candy Togekiss.
Yes.
I would like to see maybe a counter catcher onto the Gardevoir EX. I would love to see more Gimme Ghouls because there's how many?
Not enough.
There's one.
We've only seen 2 in play so far this whole game, but I agree. I think I don't know. Looking at what Sam had just done, I don't see it being bad to go with the Drifloon here. I think that as long as Oliver is not getting the Kiss out, the Drifloon's a safe play. But I think once we get that Kiss out, it changes the whole dynamic of the
there's
game
a
here.
chance. I would have liked to see a little bit different sequencing. I would like to see the Pheasantipede before the Night Stretcher,
Sure.
and then possibly see a Pokestop before using the Irida, because any Pokemon you mill, you can Night Stretcher back for them. So if you mill the Togekiss, you can just draw back into it, which
No, it was a
that
Gimme
would have
Go
been
now.
Gimme Ghoul. Bench the Ghoul. Get
So
it.
wait, so we had at least 3 Ghoul in deck to start the game.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Okay, for sure we had 2 because there was
100%
one prize
two.
taken, but if there's all 4,
I hope not.
we're gonna see.
But honestly, Oliver's still scrapping by here. The current state of the game isn't too out of his reach just yet. We have to see some sort of bigger swing here, whether it be a KO on the Gardevoir without Togekiss or gain the Kiss down and gain the 2 prize on the
Do you want to hear
Drifloon.
something funny?
Please.
So, if a Togekiss comes out,
Mhm.
I mean this calls for 2 heads in a row,
Oh no.
but you can see a Togekiss heads if there's a Make It Rain on the active, and then that would mean take 2 prizes. Well, you go down to 3.
Mhm.
There's no tag teams. There's no VMAXs in play. I can't take a 3-prize knockout, right? Or can I? How would I take 3 prizes the following turn if, in theory, I take 2 prizes this turn on the Drifloon?
It had to be on the just Guardy, right? Just go get that Guardy with either was a Pokemon catcher or just gust it up naturally.
But
But
that's a 2-prize knockout, right? Well, what do I need, Adam?
you need the Kiss.
I need the Kiss.
And we haven't seen it in hand at all. I've been talking this whole time, assuming we're to get that Kiss down, but it looks like
The Kiss is in deck. I
is.
need the Kiss out.
But he
Come
has
on.
no way of getting it without he could poke. Here we go with the Pokestop, but that goes back to your sequencing comment.
Pokestop.
We could have. Oh
No,
we
not
no.
the Kiss. No.
Now we-
Valentine's Day came early this
No,
year.
we
and it
can't-
went
We
away.
can't guarantee that we would have gotten the Kiss by drawing it
I would have
naturally,
it.
but seeing it milled here, assuming it's his only one. No, he's playing 2-2.
There's a 2-2 line.
Okay,
but
okay, so it's
I
still
it's give and take. You
it
can
is.
you can play your Night Stretcher. You play a whopping 3 Night Stretchers. So I think that might be easier than playing something like the.
Oh, but we got the Dingle and the Superior off of that concealed cards, man. Holy moly!
Oh my goodness! I mean, you can just Night Stretcher for the Kiss.
Yep.
Instead, because you already have the candy in hand, you can just Irida for the Night Stretcher for Kiss
Yep.
instead of like Ultra Balling.
Yeah.
But like,
No, I think that's the move for sure. I mean,
that came down to this turn, right? Yeah. That came down to this turn. Yep.
he hasn't.
I'm
drawn
on
yet.
it.
He hasn't drawn yet.
No.
All right, make sure that stop that quick then.
I'm on it.
Good job.
I know my ghouls.
The ghouls, the ghouls
Yeah.
and the goblins,
Shout out my
man.
ghouls, man. But that other psychic Pokemon can evolve. Can we
It
see that
definitely
evolve?
can. If we do, we have the Irida available, so we definitely can. And we have the Superior, so we're definitely getting, hopefully, I mean, we're getting a knockout regardless. The question is, will it be 1, 2, or 3? We'll see.
I want to see like 10 prizes taken.
10, that'd be
That's
crazy.
not-
Imagine
that's
a
not
10
possible.
A 10 prize turn.
You'd have
man,
to alter
unheard of.
creation a couple times, but I want to see. Man, I just want to see Togekiss. Is that too much? That's the only kiss we could show on
I
stream.
mean, it's very real.
I want to see the Togekiss heads. Let me see it.
I think it's definitely in Oliver's best interest to go like all in for it this turn. I don't know if he'll be able to get it at any point after this turn.
Yeah, if
And
you
it
don't
puts
get
him at a
this turn,
huge
it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It puts him at a huge disadvantage. Sam has all he needs really. I mean, he only has one Curly available right now, but he has one in hand to evolve the Ralts next turn. Seeing 4 additional cards, including plus his draw. I mean, Sam's really firing on all cylinders here. And I'm looking to see. Hopefully, we get that Night Stretcher back.
You know what's also slept on?
What's that?
The Roxanne was milled. That's kind of huge too.
It
Because
can be.
This Gardevoir deck, you have one Curlia in play, given there,
Yeah,
I believe there's one in the hand,
There is.
but it's just a matter of, what are you doing? Are you?
Okay. Is he going for the Guardy here?
Are you? If you don't have the Togekiss,
Mm.
I want to see the Togekiss come out. I
And
mean,
if Oliver does elect to go for the counter catcher Guardy here, Guardy will win the race, and he is.
well,
Did he have did we miss a stretcher that was in deck? Maybe he didn't have any available to
oh
him.
no.
How many stretchers does he play
Hit
normally?
the knockout. There's 3.
He plays 3, so
Oh,
we saw
and it's
2
not
already.
even the knockout. No.
So this is what I was kind of talking about
That's a little
earlier.
rough.
That he's just attacking for the sake of attacking here, rather than going for the KO. And
Yeah.
if this were the case, even if we don't see the kiss here, he's probably better off KOing anything else on the board.
Definitely. I would have liked to see
Maybe
the
the monkey.
Night
almost.
Stretcher for the Kiss.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Instead of Night Stretcher for Kiss, instead of the counter catcher, means that you can go take the actual coin flip chance that you take an extra prize on the Drifloon,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Gardevoir staying in play. You already saw the Turbo being played, so just capitalizing on your opponent's. It's, if your opponent has a misstep here and there, you just capitalize on that, and then you can go later on counter catcher, because you would hypothetically be at 3 prizes left if you take 2.
Yeah.
Your opponent takes a knockout on the Goldengo. They go down to 2, so they still have less prizes remaining. You can still counter catcher and go counter catcher, Gardevoir, slam down a bunch of energy, Togekiss heads.
Yep.
It's a bit risky, but at the end of the day, you're also just knocking out the Gardevoir, which is pretty huge. Instead of now just giving your opponent a bit of a layup.
Yeah,
But
basically.
there's always a chance. There's
Oh,
Ooh,
and this
what are we
is-
seeing? What are we seeing?
I would have liked
No.
to see it on the Togepi.
I would have liked to see that too.
But then again, we don't have access to the double monkey this turn. He's not going
Well-
to turn it up and drop it back down.
Yeah,
So I mean, it doesn't really hurt to put it really anywhere, I guess. On this turn.
or even we don't have a Flutter Mane
Right.
knockout. That would have been huge.
Exactly. And the thing is though, putting 30 on the gimme goal doesn't let you monkey for the KO next turn either.
Yeah, it
That's
doesn't.
the thing.
It means
but I
that you
guess-
still have to have a Bravery Charm.
But the thing is, if he evolves, so like say he's not knocking out the dangle here. But if he puts 30 on the gimme goal on the bench, puts 30 more in the future, that puts it at 190 for the Guardy KO. So that works out, I guess.
Yeah.
And we're not. So
Well, no, because it has 260, not 250.
oh, that's right.
Yeah,
so it'd be
it's a
10
little
short again.
awkward.
Oh my goodness.
260 is just such an awkward number, but we do see the knockout here with the Balloon Burst. Yeah, the
And this
30
is-
on Fez is pretty good. The 30 on the Togepi is also cool because you force it to evolve.
Right.
And that's just another prize that you can take in residual damage rather than your attack return.
I mean, I wonder if Sam's thinking though, don't put it on the Togepi because if he could have evolved, he would have evolved already, right?
Yeah, I would much rather put it there.
I think putting on the Fez may have been the better move. Putting that to 180 and being
Yeah.
able for the Guardy KO the next turn. But we do see Oliver getting punished for not knocking out the Drift in the last turn because now he has to get rid of it, and it's really very intimidating here on the board.
Well, putting it in range, yeah, like you're saying, Mulerator, putting it in range of the Scream Tail is pretty good. Either 30 on Togepi means that you force the Togepi to evolve, or 30 on Fez this previous turn, 30 on Fez the next turn means that you can just knock it out without having a Bravery Charm on your Scream Tail, meaning that you don't even care what's in the active spot. It could be an Iron Thorn, well, not an Iron Thorns, but it could be a 1 million HP Behemoth. It doesn't matter because the Pheasantipity is in range of being knocked out, and it'd be at 150 HP.
Well, now that you have that comment out there, I do like the double monkey onto the Fez with the potential Scream Tail
Yeah.
attack. I like that a lot more.
Double on the Fez or double on the Togepi.
Sure,
It's
but they're
either
not gonna-
or, but
He's
maybe
got-
not on the Goldengo, but it's okay because
Yeah.
the Goldengo will be in range of. It's not really in range of
230, right.
anything.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a another Bravery Charm to Drifloon, so you'd have to recover it and then use a Bravery Charm.
I mean, there's a potential for like a like the current monkey on the board to shift damage over, and then Sammy is playing a second monkey, so we could get the
Yes.
Goldango into range of the Guardy this turn potentially.
True, the second monkey with the 3 Dark Energies means that you can
Yeah.
use the Monkey Dory more often.
Now we did see the Tur already used, so he can't loop the same one, but with 2 in deck, he should be fine if he does seek out that option.
Definitely, and we know from the
And we're
prize checking that there's
finally getting the
access to
kid.
at least 2 of them. And let's see what's
So
happening.
now we're actually getting the kiss down here. I think it's
Rare
well,
Candy
that-
Kiss
it's
is
a turn
is it a
late.
little
I
too
feel
late?
it's a little. I think it's a turn late, even if he gets the heads here.
Well, if you knock out, well, there can only no. There's a Dark Energy on the Monkey Dory already.
So he could
So
still
let's see this Wonder Kiss.
he could still full stack on the Guardy for 190 instead of like 10 HP left, something like that, right? 10 or 20.
And that's a heads. That's an extra prize card.
There you go.
So let's see.
You got the boss.
There's a Gardevoir, there's a boss, and that is game.
Indeed, indeed.
Sam, you don't need.
Oh yeah, you don't have to even do that. Yeah.
Sam. I guess
That's
you wanna
fine. I
use
mean,
the
he-
balloon.
I mean, he's kind of tunneled on it, but as long as it works, not the most optimal, but it gets the job done regardless.
Yeah, I would want to take a knockout with the Gardevoir.
has the
Just asserting your
charm.
dominance. Showing to your opponent that sure, this is the engine of my deck, but it's also it's a beat stick sometimes
True.
where it can take the prizes too. So that's just me, but everyone has their personal preferences. But anytime I can attack with a Gardevoir EX and it's to close out the game, I
It's
do
pretty
it.
solid. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I want every Pokemon to take a knockout. And
No, I can't relate. I'm not a Guardian enjoyer myself,
Yeah.
but I understand your POV there for
have you
sure.
ever taken a knockout with Slap on the Curlia?
No, but I have taken a knockout with the attack from Dreepy, and with what else was it? Something else that was like not Charmander, or I think it was the Pidgey attack, for knockout. Also, the 50 HP Pidgey attack. Or no, sorry,
Ooh,
it has to be
the
60. It has to be
Gust.
60s. The Gust.
The Gust. The
Yes.
Gust is pretty good.
Those were both the same match, and I lost both games, unfortunately. So
well,
good story to talk about, but
couldn't be me.
oh man, tragic. But we do
Yeah.
see Sam going up 3-1 here on. I'm assuming his first. No, he played in a cup over the weekend, so it's not his first like point event since coming back, but his first like Nerd Rage point event since coming back. So it's good to see him back
It's
for sure.
okay. I have a question for you though, Adam.
Yeah.
With all these Pokemon players over here, plenty different cards, right?
Absolutely,
There's just so many amazing cards.
there are.
Now,
so many
can I
amazing
ask
Pokemon.
you, this Pokemon, right? If I just had to give you a flavor text,
Mhm.
its fiery rear end is fueled by gas it made in its belly.
Oh,
Even rain can't extinguish the fire.
is this Charmander, man? This has got to be
Is
Charmander,
it? No,
right?
because Charmander gets knocked out if its fire goes out. Like,
Right.
You watch the anime? No.
Oh, yeah.
Even its fire can get extinguished.
Oh,
Cannot
so the
get
counter lore, the
extinguished.
counter lore. For
by
some reason,
the
man, this
rain.
is like a random one. I don't think I don't even know if you know what this Pokemon is. My man Turtonator. My man Turtonator is a fire
Your man's
dragon.
Turtonator.
Yeah, fire dragon
Are
type.
you sure you want to say that?
No, but he's pretty cool.
Do you want a set?
Please.
Twilight Masquerade. We're talking about a recent
Oh, it
set.
could be
dropped at
Turtonator.
NEIC of last year.
Dude, hold on. That actually could be
with
Turtonator because I
the
think there was
ogres.
I think there was a full art Turtonator, and it's in the case right now. But I don't know if it's Twilight Masquerade.
All right, if it is Turtonator,
What stage
I
is
will
it?
buy this and give it to a random person.
Sounds good to me.
It is a
what-
basic.
Oh no! Is it Tur? I was like, I'm just gonna lock it
Would
in.
you like an
man.
attack name?
Absolutely not. Let me go with the Turtonator.
You wanted an attack name. You would like this attack name.
Okay, tell me.
Fire breathing.
Isn't that just Charmander? Fire breathing? No, that's Blazing Destruction, and that's Heat
No.
Tackle.
Lock it in. Lock it in.
I'm
We've
just gonna
got
go.
pairings.
I'm just gonna
Lock
go
it
with the.
in.
Give me the Turt, man. Give me the Turt.
It is not the Turt. It
No.
is the Chimchar.
Oh my God!
Fire breathing, 20 damage plus flip a coin.
You know,
it
man,
adds 20 more damage.
I can't say I'm the biggest Chimchar fan because I'm more of a Torchic guy.
I
Definitely
like
more of a
Piplup.
play. I like
Piplup's
that's
cool.
fair. That's fair. I'm a big Blaziken enjoyer for sure. So even though Infernape is like exactly the same, actually better than Blaziken on stats, Blaziken's still the goat.
Blaziken is indeed the goat.
I mean, we can get Junior and Eli at table 1 for the win. Yeah,
Would you like to see that?
I kind of would. I mean, they're the
I would
only
like to
4
see
L's.
that.
Let's
The
run it.
matchup's pretty close.
Yeah, Zardan Drago's it's a
And
classic
they're already,
banger.
they're already sitting down.
That's fantastic.
Less work for me, less
That's-
work for you.
I love it. Who do we have at table 2 though? Who's in contention for like top 4?
We have
Ryan and
and
Alec,
Alec.
all
Alec
right.
has been on table 2 like 4 times today.
He's been on table 2 like
Let's see.
a billion times the past few weeks, man. He's been on stream, never getting seen.
Oh,
Who else do we got though? Who else is sitting at 3-1? Matt Banna and Santa Claus.
Santa Claus
And
is
the-
3-1.
And this is a different Matt, not the one that we saw earlier this
This is
afternoon.
Matt Banna. Do we want to get Santa Claus on table 2?
Let's get it.
We could get Santa Claus
And
on
I
table
think
2.
Matt maybe. I haven't seen him before. He's new to this. I don't know if he lives in the area, but he's new to Nerd Rage, so that'd be nice to get him on
Matt
stream.
Banna.
I think
know I saw their deck recently when sifting through all the deck lists. So let's go ahead and see what they're playing. See if
I haven't seen him around, so I'm not too familiar with him.
it is Reggie Drago.
All right, so we got some Dragos.
I'm
top
gonna go ahead
tables
and,
here.
Tell Santa Claus and Matt Banna they can sit at stream table 2.
Let's
Keep
get
them
it.
entertained. Let's
I
do a flavor
gotcha.
text with the chat.
First, I want to kind of talk about how, even though I was saying how we haven't really seen Drago too much, now we're seeing it finally pop up at our top 2 tables here. We have a classic matchup at table 1 between Eli and Junior, the Drago and Zard. Historically, Drago favored, but as of some recent events, the matchup seems a little bit closer than people give it credit for. I wouldn't say it's necessarily Zard favored by any means, but I wouldn't say it's more than like 60-40 at worst. I feel like 60-40 are pretty good odds, especially when Zard could beat the rest of the room. And then we see, again, Rafal at table 2 with the Bridge versus Drago. A matchup that I'm not very familiar with, and we didn't get a whole lot to see in the Champions League because, as we were talking about earlier, for some reason, Drago just ain't it over in the East. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I wonder what the reasoning is behind it. I would like to hear some feedback from that. I'm just curious. But with that kind of pushed out, Bridge was able to get that win last weekend, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops. Because when it first came out on paper, Archelon was pretty cool. It just didn't really find the pieces around it to really find success. So maybe this Japanese one will be the catalyst to kind of bring it out. It's really interesting.
Facebook would have told me.
And then, I don't know, it's just really interesting. I'm curious to see how that develops. And we did see Ryan on the Don, correct? Right? We saw Ryan on Don earlier?
Yeah.
All right, so we see Don versus the, oh my goodness, what was Alec playing?
Dragon Ball.
Thank you. Oh, Dragon Ball Thorns, that's right.
Ah.
So, another interesting matchup. I'm curious to see how that one will turn out. I don't really have much information on the Don versus Dragapult matchup. What do you think about that?
Oh, I was reading a flavor text.
No, we
I
didn't
think
get the
Dawn
flavor
versus
test.
Dragapult Thorns.
It sounds pretty.
You
Pult
need to start.
favored.
You need to start Thorns.
Yeah,
if you
for
don't start
sure.
Thorns or Klefki, if you play it,
Sure.
That matchup just seems a
I know.
little weird.
Alec is not playing the keys.
Yeah.
Even though I talked to him like after he submitted a list of everything, I'm a big advocate for the keys in that deck. At least one.
That card's broken.
It's pretty good. Just to give you another out to that ability, lock for some Pokemon turn 1 as your starter. So I'm curious to see how that actually ends up turning out.
Yeah, I would like to see how it ends up. I think that as a backup stream is pretty good, but this is a matchup I really like. I enjoy seeing this matchup because people think that it's really favored for the Reggie Drago deck, but there's always lines you can do as a Charizard player.
Agreed.
The Thornton's just a huge card in this matchup.
When you were out, I was just saying the same thing. I mean, I think at worst, like the absolute, which is like 60-40 in favor of Drago. I feel like,
Yeah.
and that's like, I mean, when both players know their decks pretty well, those odds definitely meet in the middle a lot more consistently.
Definitely. We've seen players like at the regional level. There was the Reggie Drago player, Lucas Zhang,
Mhm.
where he played it versus Haruki. I forgot his last name.
Mhm.
Haruki M, right? And Haruki ended up winning that as the Charizard player versus Lucas Zhang. And, it's just there's these lines that you could do to come back where you use Dust Skulls to maybe take another prize card. Briar's a huge card.
Oh, yeah.
Thornton. So there's just these lines that you can do where it's really impactful. The Radiant Charizard to take a 2-prize knockout on, let's just say, Teal Mask Ogrepon, the Squawk, the Pheasantipity. There's just so many things you could do. Especially, it depends on the ace spec you're playing. What is Eli running today as his ace
I would
spec?
imagine it's Stamp.
Yeah, we're
Him and I
looking
have
at these
been
unfair stamp
yeah,
for sure.
him and I have been talking about the different ratios for Zard for a couple weeks now. He elected to go with the collapsed and the was it the vacuum, which
Collapse
yeah,
and vacuum is pretty
I think
cool.
that's fantastic. What him and I have been talking about it. I've looked at to cut out the collapse, which I've seen from a couple different lists recently. Again, that may leave you a bit vulnerable for that Rotom or Fish KO on the bench, but it opens up that spot for that potential canceling Clone Edition, which, as we've seen at NRG at least, Dragapult Thorns is relatively popular, and having that Cologne could flip a lot of matchups for the Zard player for sure.
Definitely. One of my buddies is actually borrowing my Charizard deck, and I gave him the Cologne because I was copying the Alexander Hamilton, not the president, but the Pokemon player. I was copying the Alexander Hamilton,
From Toronto.
yes, the
Yeah, yeah.
Toronto list, and it might have been someone else's beforehand, but Alexander, I believe, got top 32 with it or top
I think it
64.
was top 16.
was-
No,
No, it was Jackson Ford got top 16.
then it was just then it was top 32. Then
It,
it was like
either top 32 or like in the
was-
30s, right? It was like
yeah.
36th or something.
yeah.
But it doesn't play the collapse, but it does play the Cologne, which I think
Yes.
is huge.
That's what I've been testing for a while now.
Oh, Eli. Okay.
Got a pretty good hand there. I mean, he's
Poffin?
Puffin
maybe
and
two?
Nespal. Yeah, ready
And a
to
Nuzlocke
go.
Eli? Okay.
And
Eli, you
Eli's
dog.
a pretty solid start for Eli here. Definitely what he needs to kind of counteract this pretty strong Draco start as well.
It is a
Yeah.
pretty strong start. The Drago player got Iono'd to 6 new cards. And, I mean, what's in the discard pile, though? We only have a Giratina V-Star.
Yeah, just about. But that's the thing with in this Drago versus Zard matchup is that like in this matchup specifically, it opens up a big opportunity for Ogerpon to start taking some big KOs here.
Yeah.
Whereas most matchups would have just Drago as the main attacker, I would say that the Ogerpon attack is equally as valuable here. And if Eli isn't careful, they could really blow out the game.
Should Eli ever bench a second Pidgey here? Would you?
Oh, that's interesting. So if he has,
As
At-
the resident Charizard player on the stream, I've never touched the deck.
that's really tough. So like, part of me says yes, but part of me also because he is playing the collapsed, you may want to save that 5th spot for a potential fish next turn to kind of get the Dusclops, Dusknoir plague kind of rolling. I don't know how I feel about the 3rd Mander though. I don't know if I would have if that's my 5th bench spot. I think I would have either left it open or put either actually a second Pidgey or a second Duskull down. I think Duskull kind of goes crazy in this matchup. It really manipulates that damage and allows you to take the early KOs here, especially even next turn.
Well, if something's getting knocked out, those are 3 amazing cards. We see Ultra Ball, Super Rod, Pheasantipity.
Oh yeah.
I think those are really good cards for the comeback. You already have the Pidgeot EX in hand
Mhm.
as Eli, and you just really want to see. You're at the mercy of your opponent's draws. If they can go through their turn without using their V-Star power, I mean, it's looking rough then.
Well,
But
hold
we're
on.
going to go ahead and see what happens.
If we do see Christian take a KO without using V-Star, there is a very good possibility that Eli can go for like an Arvin, Deathband, Dusclops play and KO the full Drago. Especially if it's his only Drago on the board. If Junior can't set up a second one, I think it's a very real possibility and probably Eli's best option before he starts swinging into these Ogerpon. The issue with going for that Dusclops play though is again, you leave yourself very vulnerable to the Ogerpon play. And having that one on the bench already having 2 energy, it's and both of them with 2 energy, it's not possible for Eli to clear both for all 3.
Yeah, Mole Raider, I don't even know about the Triforce play, but just in general, if Junior's able to go for like a Dragapult play where it's knockout on the Charmander plus knockout on the Pidgey, only 1 Pidgey in play means that there goes that quick search. Your opponent's not going to be able to search out the one very important card per turn, which it does come in clutch to really seal the deal of like, okay, now I have Arvin plus my quick search that's searching 3 cards, and you're just handpicking the perfect cards from your deck.
And the thing with like a super early Triforce into Eli's board currently, because he put the 3rd Mander down, Junior can't necessarily just wipe up the board and end the game because if he leaves 1 Charmander, if he leaves the 1 Pidgey, Thornton is still available.
Exactly, Thornton's an amazing card. Like, it's one of my favorite cards in the format. Another Scarlet Violet card that I love. Well, no, that's a Sword and Shield card.
I'm not sure.
but it's Sword and Shield. It's a Silver Tempest. But,
Yeah, it is Silver Tempest for sure.
But it is one of my favorite cards, and in this deck, it is very impactful. It really sees its use in this matchup, and so we're gonna go ahead and see what Junior's gonna do. But
we are gonna try Frost.
Junior, you
Oh,
dog.
okay. I don't know if that's the play though, because now okay.
Eli. Can
We
come
do
back.
okay. So we do see Ultra Ball, Candy.
Oh wait, we
Counter
are getting
catcher.
Trifrosted. Yeah.
I think it's really interesting. I think if Junior had elected to try Frost, I think he should have taken out the Pidgey. Because now we leave a really crazy opportunity for Eli to go Ultra Ball, Candy, into Pidgeot, into maybe even a Stamp, and just leave Junior stuck for at least a turn or
This
two.
is
You got second
another
Candy.
Candy's really good off the draw, but
No, hold on. So we can go Ultra Ball for Pidgeot, Quick Search Pidgeot for Arvin.
then how do you throw
No, but you'll be able to Thornton.
Do you ever like? I mean, this is kind of greedy.
Talk me through it. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking like, do you ever just like Fez? Yeah, like right. Legacy Star is still active, but if it gets knocked out, it is not active anymore.
Honestly, even though this may be like a super conservative play, you could, because he had the Poffin in hand, you could discard something else. Ultra Ball, Pidgeot, Quick Search, Rod, bring back your Charmers and just Poffin instant charge. Because you can't get the attack next turn.
Well, you could do that plus like the unfair stamp.
Yeah, you could do all of
But
that.
then, I mean,
I feel like
Legacy Star is still active, right?
that's the
like, It's a
problem.
little scary.
It is. It's very interesting, but I mean, it's something that Drago players have talked about not necessarily needing to try fall super, super early. I guess Junior smelled the blood in the water and just bit it.
3.
That's interesting. Now hold on. Now I think he actually can do the play. Right? Because he has Ultra Ball, Double, Candy, and Stone now. So
You're
now
the Charizard player, dude. You tell me.
So I'm pretty sure he could Stone for the Thornton and do all of it. I think that's a very realistic possibility now. The question is, how many energy does Eli have in deck? With 2 in hand, that may leave his energy count really, really, really awkward because he needs all 3 in deck to get the play off.
5 in his list, 2 in hand, 1 in Junior's hand.
Eli could pull off the play that I was talking about if he has the energy that he needs.
I mean, you just have to Ultra Ball away the energy. You're not.
No, you have to.
Ultra-balling
You
away,
have
like,
to.
The counter catcher is
get-
already Ultra Balled, but like,
And you get the Pidgeot here.
what else?
I think because you have the second Candy, you Seal Stone for the Thornton, bring up the Charmander, and then just evolve into it. No, that's what I'm thinking. It leaves you in a position where he has to have a
Likely.
switch, double grass with the KO. But he does have the V-Star, so that's the thing. And he has double grass in hand. So this is really sketchy on Eli's end. Not knowing that Junior already has the grass, he has to hand it for this play to be able to be worth it. So maybe you don't go crazy with the Thornton. Maybe you just go Pidgeot. Get the Charmanders reestablished and then Stamp.
Tuscanor, don't do that, Eli.
Oh, I definitely don't think that's the move.
I don't think that's the move.
Okay.
Degrees. Yes, there are a lot of Pult Thorns.
If we go,
It's on our backup.
yeah, we have a couple at least 2, maybe 3 Pult Thorns in the room. So that's not if we put the Radzard down, a Thornton play is gonna be what enables it, right? Because the solo attack isn't gonna get the attack. Okay, I think that's definitely
Okay,
the move.
go
Now
for
the
the
question is, what do we
Pidgey.
quick search for?
Well, that's Rare Candy Pidgeot's intuitive, but
Yeah, for sure. The question is, do we go
what
like
else?
Seal Stone, Thornton, Zard, or do we see some sort of disruption and set up for the next turn?
More middle pull action. Leave me alone. Oh my gosh! If it doesn't haunt me, we just have Dan Hugar's goons coming after me. Oh my goodness!
See what Eli likes to do here. I'm really curious. This is a very interesting.
Middle pull it's completely viable to say middle pull when referring to it. The Dracloak, or referring to like I don't know, like middle Charizard. No, it's
Middle
Charmeleon. Everybody
Zard,
knows
yeah,
Charmeleon.
it's a
But like,
classic.
who does Dracloak?
I'm
You
really
go to random
glad.
people off the no. You go to random people on the street and ask them. But we're going back to this unfair stamp.
I'm really glad that Eli chose to swap out the Iono for the unfair stamp, because stamping first allows you to have Seal Stone plus a supporter after this hand refreshes. Even though the Iono would have been.
No, I'm feeling it.
Honestly, the
Rare
Iono
Candy
wasn't bad.
Charizard Thornton right here.
That'd be
Did
insane.
Eli count his energies?
I don't
count his
know. I
energies?
don't know.
I
I don't know if he had one in the discard already because he has to have 3 in deck to pull the play off. So if one is prized, if one was already discarded, he can't get the playoff. He got the Arvin. He has the Candy, so he could do it.
Is there like a Charizard in discard?
Oh, this here we got a good side.
Feels like a random Charizard.
So
in
he,
discard.
unless he prized the energy, he has 3 in deck, which is major because otherwise the attack won't go off.
But they can't. No, Eli can't do it because
Why?
right, he doesn't have. He already uses
He has stone.
Yeah, but he has stone for one.
Oh no,
card.
you're right. I see what you mean.
Yeah, he has stone for one card of the Thornton Charizard combo, but he doesn't have the full combo.
No, I think this goes back to that setup for next turn. I'm hoping he gets 2 Mander down. That'd be ideal.
I mean,
Let's see.
it's looking a little rough because I mean, if Junior's able to just go Dragapult, knockout Duskull, knockout active Rotom, then the
That's
game's
it,
over.
right.
Also, yeah.
Oh, are we going to see a Seal Stone for an energy retreat?
No,
Oh.
feels bad.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. I wish I could have paid a little bit closer attention to see how many energy he had in deck. I'm assuming it's 2 if he's making this play, because if he only had 1 in deck, this is kind of like a death sentence.
Eli offered the ID. No. See the energy retreat to the Duskull. I mean, what are you doing then?
I mean, this is the safe play because as long as you're not getting a Gust 2 or 3 price play here, the KO on the Duskull allows Zard to hit 300, which, unless Junior's is juicing up these Ogrepons, 300 will kill everything in Junior's deck.
Is there a Prime Catcher in deck? Can Junior go for game right here? Junior just needs double energy switch, energy, Prime Catcher, and Dragapult.
Is there a world then where we just V-Star before rotting?
No.
No?
No, because you have a research in hand.
Fair. This would be very interesting.
Because, like, if you're milling it, no, that's...
I feel like you V-Star before you rot it back, no?
No, because you're going to find enough cards. Ooh,
So
the
we're
boss
to
is
research. Yeah,
there.
we're to research first. That's why.
If there was an energy... Oof.
So now we're looking for just switches and then V-Star.
Yeah.
How many does he pull?
Prime
Got the
catcher's in
prime,
hand.
yep.
Prime is in hand. Show us the hand. Show us the hand. Show me the hand.
Yeah, well, I agree. The stamp into research is brutal. It doesn't look like he
Okay.
has the switches. It's an
There's
Ultra
an
Ball, 2 energy.
Ultra Ball.
I didn't
You
get a
just
good
need
look at the
energy
rest.
switches.
He didn't see any E-switch
Trying to
off that,
think.
though, which is pretty tough. He would have liked to see at least one. Because if he saw one, he would have been able to, he would have had it.
Whoop.
What are
That
we
got
digging for here?
moved a little bit.
What are we digging for?
Yeah, pushing the Pidgeot KO is pretty huge. Just because you assume you're going to evolve it. For Dragapult. Do you ever, like, chill out right here and just punch another Drago? And not even V-Star yet, but just go, like, attach active, maybe?
Honestly, at this point, I don't think there's any reason for Junior to bench another Drago, because the Ogrepon's going to be your last attack. Right?
I guess, but to have the V-Star. Like, if you're not going to attack this turn, you just want to have V-Star next turn.
Oh, assuming you're not attacking, then yeah, probably.
Right?
Because having V-Stars was going to close it out also. V-Star may be what sets up the final KO with Ogrepon here, though. Because if we go V-Star, we have to see double E-Switch. That's...
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not like... it's not terrible odds, seeing as how all 4 are in deck, but he has to see 2 instead of just the 1 now.
Yo,
And that's
or...
the thing. What's up?
Or if you don't mill energy, you go, like, Earthen Vessel, right?
I guess... He
'Cause you
really
have
just
to-
wants to see the E-Switch for the KO for game here. That's just a
Because you
perfect world.
you have to discard the Dragapult as well.
True.
So, like, Earthen Vessel might be it. I mean, we'll see what happens. We see a beautiful
We'll see.
Looper card. And let me see the Earthen Vessel one time. Seeing, like, all your energies would be brutal. Cast
Your
for
1
Curse?
E-Switch.
No. Oh.
The 2 E-Switch. The 3 E-Switch. And the alpha of that dude, no shot.
Well,
Dude.
that's rough.
That's like exactly what we didn't want to see. That's insane.
Eli has a chance.
After not seeing an E-Switch for the first 3 turns, his V-Star, as late as he possibly could, sees 3. That's unfortunate. So, but I think he ended up taking the double E-Switch here. So,
Yeah, and the Mew is down, but if you don't have like access to like a Cleffa, there's like no free retreater in your deck right now, or at least you don't have access to it. Sorry for anyone that heard me bonk
interesting.
the thing.
Okay. So, what wins the game here is the superior energy retrieval with this Trifrost.
Another
Yeah, second Trifrost to clear the Duskull and the Charmeleon. It puts him at 1. And it's really interesting. So, on Eli's end, honestly, getting a Thornton into Zard here may just outright win him the game. If you could disrupt enough and get that Zard with that 330 damage, if you can go, he can't disrupt this turn if he gets the Zard though, because
yeah, you just go Zard Defiance.
No, but like, so how do you get Zard without Thorntoning, and how do you disrupt with while you Thornton?
No, like Rad Zard Defiance.
Oh, just Rad Zard. I
knockout.
mean, I was thinking Rad Zard with Zard EX. I mean,
No,
somehow getting Zard EX into
you
play.
don't need that. Your opponent has 1 prize,
I guess.
right?
I feel like if you can get that Zard EX on board though, and you can hand disrupt, Junior has no out. He's used so many energy.
True, but
He's
mean,
used
you
almost all of
just-
his E switches now that we see. So he's 1,
well,
2, 3.
but what out does Junior have this next turn? Junior can't even Rad Zard the Rad Zard
No, he
because
can't.
Eli's taking 2 prize cards.
That's so interesting.
Eli has
Is it-
no 1 energy left in deck. That's
Okay, so
craziness.
he did prize 1.
Yeah.
So I guess all those plays we were talking with the Zard, like Turbo Zard with Thornton, was just not possible.
All right, I owe another 1.
All right.
Let's see if Eli makes this comeback of a league challenge.
I mean, we still have the Fez, so we're seeing a good chunk of cards here.
That would be a miracle.
Of what?
Oh, well, he found the 1 fire. That was a little bit of a miracle because he had to find fire or defiance,
Right.
and then quick search for the other.
And he only had the 1 fire in deck.
Find the
you're saying,
defiance right here, Eli. Show him you're the boss. Okay, that's
we
okay.
Still have quick search.
Oh, the
that's okay.
briar!
Oh,
If you add 1 prize
Briar.
card from your opponent's deck to the
From
prizes,
discard back to the prize.
then you
is
can briar
crazy.
later. Duh.
That's some next level prize manipulation. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
That's some gaslighting right there.
But we
Wow.
do see. Hold on, your third. Yeah, I
Pawn,
agree.
switch pawn.
it kind of like
Um,
guarantees that 2 prize KO at the end rather than getting the extra energy for the Pidgeot KO.
Yeah.
I agree. Could have been on Fez also, right? Wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah.
Because at 100, so the 3
As
would
long
get
as
that
it's
anyway.
120, it would have to be 230 or less, because then you do 120 with pawn anyways.
Right.
All right, let's see what Eli does.
Let's see what a Junior does.
Well, Junior's taking the turn off.
That's fair. He sees the vessel though. That's
'Cause
major.
Junior doesn't have another E switch. All 4 are down, right?
No, he has three down.
Well, what about the? No, it's 4 down.
Is it?
Yeah, because
I
to
thought
attack
he-
with the original Regidrago, he went attach the second energy plus E switch. So he's down all 4.
Oh man, I thought he was only down 3. I thought he had
Oh.
1 left. Guy, he milled all 3. I didn't realize he used 1 beforehand. Holy moly!
Yeah, and we have word that Santa Claus is 4-1.
The goat.
The goat. In the final standings, it might show up as a different name. It's just you don't want people to know Santa Claus's real name, so like you just use a fake name.
Yeah, dude, delivering presents, delivering dubs. Crazy.
Delivering losses to people.
Delivering gifts to himself, man. He's
Oh, I
been
guess.
given so much. Also, he's finally getting some
Gift
for
to
himself.
some store credit
And some
here at
store
Nerd Rage
credit.
here at Nerd Rage Gaming. But yeah, we see a turn off from Junior.
Yeah, with
If I'm
the
Eli, I'm
Thornton.
going Thornton
Here we go.
into Zard. Okay, but
So this is where.
but energy just wins the game.
Exactly. This is where
And
Superior
there's
goes
no
crazy.
Energy. There's no. Is there energy? Oh,
The
there's one
one.
more. Okay, cool.
Was 1 not prize then?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe my eyes deceive me.
Yeah, I didn't get a good look at the deck when we were talking about, so I wasn't 100% sure. Regardless, we have Eli gain the Zard finally into play here.
And SCR wins. Eli, I think,
SCR
just
wins.
has to go knockout Fez though. Countercatcher Fez,
Agreed.
because you just want your opponent to have as little
You
access.
you just
to
gotta make it
cards as
not
possible.
happening. Yeah, agreed.
Countercatcher
agreed.
the Fez, Eli. Do it.
Please.
Do it.
So he has 7. Oh no!
Santa,
Hold
can you
on.
close the door? Oh, thank you, Santa.
It is straight up SER or bust for Junior here. 'Cause
SCR
all
is
7
the
energy are in
only
play or in discard.
thing. And I think I think we have both Super Rod down too, right? I know one at least.
Yeah, at least one. I
Oh,
want to
let's
say it was
see.
just
Yep.
the one.
Bring it up. Do it. Do it. Oh no, quick search yet
What are we
too.
doing?
That's
What are
broken.
we? Oh, here's the rod. Okay.
Okay, let's see what's happening.
So rod back like the Radzard energies, I would assume.
That could be it.
Because like, what else would you want to get? Like, you don't want the skulls back. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna go with the energies for sure.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Just the Radzard?
You just don't want your opponent to get the knockout. I would have probably put energy.
I think
back,
so too. At least the one.
To be fair.
I think he has 0 in dex. Maybe he gets Night Stretcher, I guess. But I feel like just to be safe, probably want to put the one back.
Yeah.
But
I
if
would
he
just,
had quick
hey,
service, that's
Santa
all
Claus,
good.
get out the. Santa, no.
The counter catcher onto the Fez.
Yeah, always bring up the Faz because
100%.
there's already a ogre on the bench, so it doesn't matter. You just want your opponent not to have
Exactly.
the sauce.
Indeed. But
Right.
it's like on the edge of our seats here. I mean, Junior could just
I'm losing it, man.
rip it and win. I mean, it's very
Junior could also just hit like a research, right? Like, why
he
not?
could. He could.
Well, what's the next card? Let's see.
Drago,
No, there's like
Hero's okay.
14 cards before playable. Yeah, shuffle your deck, buddy.
So he's just thinning as much as he can here for whatever he has
Oh,
for this
If
drawing.
Junior has Gust, they could just go bench Radzard, attach the fire in hand, because they do have a fire in hand.
Yep.
But let's see what's happening. They could also just put it up and then force a Gust, but I mean, Eli does have,
The quick search.
everything.
Oh,
Does Eli have a boss?
he does. He will.
Buddy Puffin.
Puffin for the search.
Okay, the Puffin's not game
There
buddy.
you go.
You can
Alright.
actually for the viewers, you can't Puffin for the boss's orders.
That's a crazy.
Eli was using the quick search, so just so you know,
I want my Puffins to do that too.
my Puffin would go crazy.
Good dub by Eli though.
But yeah,
do you
comeback
think-
of the league challenge definitely goes to Eli. He was on stream number 2 for a while, and how'd he finish up, Adam?
Love seeing him at 5-0. It's fantastic, man. Love seeing the Zards be successful here. Big Zard enjoyer. Glad to see that Eli kind of like got rid of that little mini slump he had in these past few weeks playing with Zard because really his starts have been brutal. Picture with Santa.
Picture of Santa in the back? Yo, wait, we need to get a picture of Santa.
Santa in the back, crazy. 4-1 Santa
Definitely.
legend.
Why can't we get what? We're getting our backup stream? Okay.
First one of the day, finally.
Hey, Santa, put your beard back on. So we're gonna actually see this Dragapult Thorn stack. We've seen it before,
Absolutely.
and we've seen Maridon before.
Absolutely.
Both are X and 1.
I feel like on paper the Dragapult numbers are just too good. I mean, like 200 plus being able to spread 16, putting all of their 220, 210 HP Pokemon down to 200. It just sets you up so well, I feel.
Man, we're gonna see what happens.
That was
Ryan's
that's
so
an interesting
blurry
play.
because he sees the vision. Okay, Ryan, let's go. What's happening?
I like this play from Alec a lot. He bossed up the Magnemite and then just Zen Headbutt for the KO. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's it.
Are we gonna
yeah.
see an amp?
Yeah, for sure.
Like an amp you very much? Hands.
Hands.
Let's see the hands, people. Let's see the hands.
Ryan hands his cam into blurriness again. Oh,
yeah,
man.
out of focus because he's just so in focus.
He's just
right?
so focused,
That's a
man.
bar.
Crazy.
Is
Ibarra.
that a bar? Capybara? Like the animal?
Capybara.
I don't
Hector
know.
Ibarra.
This is why I don't rap. I only commentate as a filler person.
We're just educators, man.
Yeah.
We leave the bars at home.
Listen, once you spend like 8 hours a day with like what you work with first graders, so
Yeah.
I mean your mind is a little less mush than mine, but my
Oh,
mind is
man.
mush. I work with preschoolers, so
I'm with you, man. I feel that.
my
and
mind isn't there. Dude.
early education period is a bit of a mind number, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
It's worth it though,
But my man, it was good to spend the afternoon with
It's
you,
been
talking some
awesome.
Pokemon. We do a lot of talking off camera about other stuff, but it was nice to actually sit down for a couple hours and actually just talk straight Pokemon. It was
Yeah. I don't know who let me on, but
awesome.
Dan's got a kid coming on the way, and Brian is busy
Yeah,
doing
he was doing something. I don't
some
know.
nurse thing.
Oh, is that what was going down?
Ryan started his new job. Congratulations to our caster, Brian.
Absolutely,
he is
man.
now a nurse.
He's now a real working man, not just at school anymore. He's actually doing a job.
Yeah, so if you're ever at a Pokemon regional and you do need a cute nurse, we do have Brian, Nerd Rage's own commentator.
Legend.
So be sure to look out for Brian. And be sure to look out for Dad Hugar, not Dan Hugar, but changing the N
Dad
to a D because it's
Hugar.
Dad Hugar.
Oh, I'm so happy for them. That's so awesome to bring new kids into the world. I'm so happy for everyone that's experiencing that right now.
Exactly. Amazing things are happening. It's not just about like, oh, I care if I do well at this tournament. I go to tournaments here at Nerd Rage Gaming, whether I'm playing, casting, or just here to hang out with people, because it's genuinely about the community. Our community has
Absolutely.
grown so much that we have gone from 8 people at a locals on a Thursday to now we're reaching how many were here. I mean, I've got a fat stack of deck lists
Yeah,
in
I don't
front
know,
of me.
20 something.
Just about like 24 people, and so I mean, it's all about the community we have here in Buffalo Grove, Illinois, and be sure to come out here if you're ever in the area. Maybe fly in early on that Thursday before the Milwaukee Regional if
There
you're
you
driving
go.
up.
Actually,
play
that is not a
locals.
bad idea. Milwaukee, and it's
Yeah.
happening in a few months from now. But honestly, Milwaukee from this area is about hour 15, hour and a half drive. Definitely doable
About.
in a day. Definitely doable to not have any lodging in Milwaukee. You could drive home every night.
You just camp out at Nerd Rage every
Yeah,
night.
you could. It's pretty. Not Sundays though. Closed on Sundays.
Yeah, closed on Sunday, so you can't stay here, but you don't have to go home, right?
Yeah, something like that. Whatever that phrase
Something
is.
like that. Yeah, we don't do the phrases, we just do the yapping.
I'm
And
all
it's been
about it.
excellent. Thank you again, Adam, for joining me.
Of course. Thank
It's
you for
been
having me on.
really, really fun. If you live in Chicago, Nerd Rage Gaming is not too far. I live in the south suburbs, and it's like an hour drive, but I still do it. Yeah, reach out to me on socials or reach out to someone on the team, and we'll maybe try to get you a carpooler. But it's always amazing. We have more events. We do have our Magic EDH, which is like a commander format. We have Digimon. What do we have on Tuesdays?
We got 6:30 One Piece, 6:30 Lorcana as well.
Wednesdays, we have Magic the Gathering Modern. In addition to Thursdays, we have Magic the Gathering EDH. I saw those people out there.
Yeah, I
One
did.
person with a Christmas sweater. What?
Oh,
Day late?
I did see that. It was
A day late? It was a Vegeta one.
It was, and then we have a packed. I didn't realize Friday was so busy.
We also have
Everything's-
Pokemon on Thursdays, but yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. Friday we have a pretty busy day, all starting at 6:30, which is interesting. We got Legacy Standard for Magic, and then One Piece again. And Saturday, only thing going on Saturday is some Digimon.
Digimon. Now this Sunday is also our 3v3 for One Piece. So if you do play the One Piece trading card game, get yourself 2 other friends that play the One Piece trading card game, or pick me up because I'll play if someone has a team.
I don't know if you're familiar with it. Is 3v3 and OP similar to like Pokemon and other games, or is it just straight standard?
3v3 you can't use the same leader, but it's the same like basically like standard and
That's pretty
everything.
cool.
Not to leak anything, but we might do a 3v3 for Pokemon.
I was about to then,
Not to leak
if that's the
anything.
case, is it 3v3 standard, or are we going like the
Oh,
GLC,
it's gonna
GLC
no,
retro
it's
standard?
gonna all be standard.
Oh,
It's just,
okay.
it's too hard to get all those cards for
Fair
people, so
enough.
we're just gonna do standard. It's like as if we were in a League Cup,
Oh,
but
I'm looking forward to that. That'll be
yeah,
sick.
we're
You
gonna
know,
do 3v3
if
for
that does happen,
aiming for the
allegedly.
summertime.
Oh,
So
that'd be
another reason why they shouldn't have me on here. I leak things.
sick.
But yeah, it's like we're just trying to iron it out, and hopefully make a great experience. We'll see some great faces there. Hopefully get some people from outside the area, and just see what people have.
Hopefully.
It's we're gonna see what happens. We have Eli back here. Congratulations, Eli. But until next time, catch us next week, 6:30 p.m. CST for our next Pokemon stream, the day after New Year's. It'll be the first one of the year. I look
Is it
forward
really
to it.
the day after New Year's?
Yeah.
All right.
January 2nd.
Fantastic. Looking
Catch
forward to
us
that
there.
then. Have a good night.